Hey B, can you hear me? I'm kind of testing everything. Oh, perfect. Sweet. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm doing the Insane Challenge title. So if I go to my rep, I had to kill a bunch of Booty Bay guards. So the Blood Sale love me right now, or I'm honored by them. But I have to be friends with everyone now, even though they all hate me. So I've been grinding for a couple of days now, and right now I'm just hostile with Gadget Sand. For some reason, that was the quickest one to get, but this will take a while. I've been running around with Deosa on this, and it's not been fun because they only give. So when you're killing the Booty Bay guards, your Blood Sail Buccaneer goes up by like 200, and these only go up by fives and threes and twos. Definitely not fun. I definitely will try not to give up. If you're wondering about the delay, I moved, so I don't have my two monitors set up anymore. Sup, Colonel Arnold? What's up? Oh my gosh, it's actually working. Uh, so if you're wondering, I don't have my two monitors set up because I just moved. So I'm using my phone to watch you guys as a second monitor. Uh, so yeah, I'm trying to get the insane title. Hopefully, I can get it. To be honest, this stream will be relatively short because Dry and I are gonna meet up soon. The the secret quest in Booty Bay. There's a couple like the King Kong related one, but I'm not over in Booty Bay right now. I am over here in Taranis, but over in Booty Bay, there's a King Kong reference, or not King Kong, a Donkey Kong reference on this island. That one's pretty fun. I'm doing retail right now. Where am I now? I'm just on outside the caverns of time, just right on the other side. There's two camps. There's this camp that I'm at right now uh that will give me the rep, and then there's this other small camp over here that gives me rep. But these are the only two locations just for Gadgetan to like get extra EXP. Otherwise, I would have to go to. There's an island, not that one, not the Echoes. Outside Ratchet, right down here, Frey's Island. Very tiny, cause during Cataclysm, the Alliance took over this area. Otherwise, there would have been pirates along this whole entire coast that I could kill, but now they're just on this little tiny island for some rep. I'm also gonna say sorry for the delay, cause like recording, it it's all delayed. If you hear me go quiet, I'm probably reading your guys' comments. I clearly had a transmog to look like a pirate killer. No, this is not my main. You guys haven't seen this character yet, not till the next episode. Hint, 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 hint. Um, but this was actually my first character I made on my own account. Oh, that's good. I technically don't have to kill the gnomes, but sometimes they just get in the crossfire. I can't help it. They're a bunch of dirty gnomes. For the horde. I about said for the alliance. That's good. Yeah, I feel like everyone's main is a little special. Wee. See ya, B. Already found kind of the perfect route to go in a circle. Because again, I've been doing this for a couple of days now, trying to gain rep. Nothing special. I just really wanted to test out um, streaming before I do something serious, which will probably be the Average Joe challenge, because this is just grinding. Grinding is not fun to watch. There's nothing to really talk about. But once I do like an Average Joe thing, then it'll be a lot more fun because I have to watch my health. I have to watch what I'm eating, what stuff I have on me, what mobs are around. But right now it's just overpowered Toon running around and killing everything in one shot, watching a number tick up slowly. Die. That looks kind of cool. You should probably go back to Captain, man. Like, there's nothing special for me to say. Captain's got a lot more information. Again, this is just a test round. Is Captain really live? I've never watched any of his like live videos. I never really watch any YouTuber live. Aw. So I caught you at a good time. Let's get a raid going. Oh, looks like someone joined me. We're gonna have to skip another week. Technical difficulties. But next week will be the next published video. So glad the stream worked. I wasn't even thinking about doing it. I was running around doing this and thought, hey, I should see if live stream works. So I literally just set it up and then pressed start streaming, and then it started going. I was like, oh, I guess I'm doing this right now. Well, no one will jump in, and then all of a sudden, boom, 2 people jumped in. Kind of caught me off guard. But I guess it's good so you guys can tell me how well it is. Wee. Now remember, Horde is good, Alliance is bad. Always keep that in mind. The real question is... Backphone died. Dang. The real question is, why do pirates have samurai swords? I should hop on classic content. I also need to look into getting a silent keyboard. Glory to the Lich King. I wish... You know what? Since this is technically still in vanilla content, and the pirates drop samurai swords, there's no flavor text. But it would make sense if they got it from Pandaria, because they hint at Pandarians since the Warcraft games. And it'd be funny if that's why they have the blades, is because they found Pandaren traders. Kind of makes you wonder what else pirates in World of Warcraft have seen, because they've gone across the Great Sea back here. Or no, wait, this is the Great Sea. This is something I forget. Oh, the Veiled Sea. There's a Night Elf journal back in Dragonflight where he talked about how we went across the Veiled Sea and there was a continent on the other side. So I can't wait to go over there and see what they found. Actually, I think you can find that Night Elf in game too. I can't remember where. Kill a gnome. Just like every time I look in the comments, I'm waiting to see you or Flipnote Lucario. And then you always give great ideas, which, if you, yeah, you watched that thank you video. I was talking about how I've seen some of your ideas. And we've actually thought about them. We have them all written down on paper and in our phones, but some of your ideas I never even thought of. Yeah, I was wondering if they were gonna stop eventually with um some expansions when they were doing classic, because I knew eventually that they were gonna do classic servers because it's the smartest thing. It's where they get all the money. And I was wondering when they were gonna stop doing it, and I thought they were gonna stop at Wrath, and it would have been smart for them to do it, but then they just kept on going and they did Cataclysm, and I was like, oh no, that means that they're gonna literally keep going up. And some of it I find fun, but they're really gonna redo Warlords of Draenor. Like if they just yeah, I saw your thread uh in Discord. I loved it. But like Legion would be fun. I love the artifact weapons. I wish you could go back and redo the artifact weapon stuff because I still have my artifact weapons in my bank like every other sane person. And I wish you could go back and like unlock the skins and stuff, but you can't. They soft locked it because, you know, according to the lore, you destroyed it when helping revive the when like locking off the bleeding from Azeroth during with the sword. But man, it's just where are they gonna stop with the vanilla stuff? And then what are they gonna do when they get to the end of that, where they release every expansion again? It's so weird. They definitely should have just stopped at Wrath of the Lich King. But that's just me. Wow, this really went up. I ran into someone doing this the other day, and they wanted to join group. And I was like, yeah, because, you know, it'll help. It'll help with the EXP boost. Or the rep boost. And I was like, hey, how long have you been doing this? They said 2 years. They've been doing the insane title for 2 years. Maybe I'm just going crazy. I guess that's the whole point, is how difficult it is. And it's more than just like a rep grind. It's a super rep grind. It'll make anyone go crazy. Sorry, I'm reading your post. There's a heart button in the way. Yeah, bots. It's it's crazy. It has to deal with professions. I feel like it always goes back to that, where I miss professions being something and not just gold farming. Because back then, professions were very needed. You always need professions. And I think that's why was another reason why people liked classic so much, like replaying it again, was just that feeling of being needed and feeling like you're actually an adventurer going out in the open world. But when it came to opening up those servers, bots just flood in and they cause such a big problem. Yeah. Plus, they really water down the market. And a lot of times they just let bots fly. And I think that also has to deal with the GM crunch that they did a couple of years ago. They they laid off a bunch of GMs. Otherwise, they probably would have been there right in the right in front of the portals. Click submit, click submit, click submit. Kick, 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 kick. There's that YouTuber guy that talked about how it was being a GM when he was a GM, and he was stopping like gold farmers, and his lead didn't want him doing that because it was like time that he spent, and he could count it towards his like ticket count because they had to do so many tickets. So they didn't care about gold farmers even back then. which I think is crazy because I feel like that should really be up on the list. Doobie doobie dooba doobie doobie dooba Agent P. Surprisingly, I haven't seen any GMs. I guess there are GMs for the posts, but like in the open world, I remember when I first started playing and I got a chat notification and it had the Blizz blue on it. And I was so young, I just didn't know what it was. I just ignored it. But little did I know a GM was trying to contact me. I thought that was pretty funny. Never knew what that GM wanted. But I have written tickets before. I've handed in like gold farmers and other people like that, but I've never seen like a GM out in the wild. And yeah, they're supposed to hide, but I would love doing it. I feel like I would be a good GM. I think I would hate the work, the grind to wake up and be there for people, but or I think it'd be mainly just the ticket problem, making sure you hit your quota. I feel like that would be a big pain. But for every good apple, there's always a whole bucket load of bad apples. And those are the people that cause all the problems. Oh my gosh. Paperwork. I hate paperwork. I imagine there might be some paperwork, but at this point in time, I'm sure it's all digital now. But I guess it would be just still the same thing, would be going through and filling out the check boxes. I kind of have to do that right now for the job I work at, but I just BS my way through it and just copy paste fill. It's not digital. I say copy and paste, but no one likes paperwork. And it's funny cuz bosses think that it helps streamline and figure out where the main problems are in like work areas, but in reality, it just takes up more time. And I love it. I love it whenever they give you paperwork to do, or they say this is a new thing on the paperwork that you should be already doing, and then they yell at you for not doing your job fast enough. I think that's hilarious. It's one of my favorite things about workplace like problems is the boss is always saying, "You're going too slow. I may have to think about like firing you." And then they're like, "Hey, by the way, I'm gonna add 20 more things to your to-do list. Now, don't forget, you have to do that and make sure it's faster." Hey, Deos is on. Whoops, can't say. Whisper. Now keep in mind, I am extremely illiterate and I had caps on. So if you ever see me type, just know that it's bad. Yeah, see? It's true. They always try to say this will help and then oh, man, higher ups are just and I can't give all the blame to the higher ups because the people above them say that they need to add this to say to the people below them, which I've done before because I've I don't know how much to say. I was I'm a manager and they say tell the people that you're working under this information, and I think why don't you just say that? But then I have to tell the people below me that, and they're not going to listen. They don't care. And it's just all useless. Yeah, it's it's not the complete top, but it is higher ups, and you just need to find those people. It's literally the definition of trimming the fat because it's all useless. It's so annoying. And my brain, I work in the sense of if it's not helping, then I just cut it out. In so much that it's like bad in my life where if one bad thing happens, I'll just completely cut it. I'll just cut it off. I swear, if my thumb gets infected, I'll cut my whole hand off. I'm that bad. So it's just if I ever became a CEO of a business, if I ever noticed that one branch is bad, I'll probably just cut out the entire thing because I just see it as useless. I don't know how a lot of CEOs and higher ups can just keep that big of a problem staying around in their business. And it's like, yeah, there's money laundering and, they make more money in this certain way or they have to meet a quota. But oh, I can't do that. I would chop it off instantly. Maybe it just has to deal with my brain. I also love how a main thread or like the main part of your thread in Discord was just Arthas related. And then you even said, "I'm sorry, it's mainly Arthas." I don't know. I also loved that. Yeah, don't want to go to prison. I guess it's just like because Warcraft, it's so set in stone. 308. I need to pay attention to what he's saying. Unfriendly. I can't spell. Keep that in mind. We've also been looking at transmogs while running around and doing all this. I need to be careful because I want to have Deosa join in the Discord call, but I don't know how well that will go with the stream. Just don't steal any information, okay? Whoop, can't show that. Whoop, can't show that. Nothing. Streaming to one whole person, Colonel Arnold. B was on before, and that was like right. They jumped on right when I started streaming, which I thought was crazy. Now the real question is, can he hear you? Colonel, can you hear him? Colonel, Colonel. Through the dark portal. There's a minor delay. Yeah. YouTube. Yeah. I just wanted to try it out. So far, it's kind of like Twitch. Yeah. Can you hear yourself in the echo? Actually, about that. Actually. I've noticed a lot more people have been trying it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard they called it the adpocalypse, where they've just pumped it full of ads now. Colonel, can you hear Deosa? Bum 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 bum. Yes. That's right. I have to turn it on. No, he cannot hear you. But oh man, I'm gonna have to show my screens again.
Got two monitors. Oh,
Nope.
you need. I'll make you a little splash for.
Let's try that. I need two monitors. That's the main thing. I don't have my two monitors set up.
I'll make you a splash for like
How about now?
a transition. That you don't have to like show all the technical stuff. You know what I mean? Be good.
Yeah, okay. I had to turn you on. I forgot the streaming. I have it cut.
Oh,
Okay, all is good.
probably-
He can hear you now.
thankfully,
We were talking
that's all.
about South Park and Twitch.
Yeah, well, with the 5-minute advertisements now, right? You just tune in, you click on anything.
Yeah.
You know, you want to watch your totally legal streams of South Park or The Simpsons or whatever you're trying to do while you're driving for 12 hours. You put that stuff on the screen and just, you know, 30-minute G Fuel advertisement followed
G
by
Fuel.
like whatever, like your phone's listening on you, so you're talking about like gym memberships, or you're talking about coffee, and then Starbucks and Planet Fitness are like the next two ads you're gonna get served. It's ridiculous.
I am
Let me see
so
what's that
glad
weapon?
that
What's that
I'm
weapon
doing
got?
all these, like, opening up OBS and opening Discord just in front of Colonel and no one else. Like, if the lobby was like 100 people, a bunch of randos, I would probably just cut the stream and be
You'd
like,
be
all right,
fine.
let me
You'd
hop
be
back on in
fine.
a couple of seconds.
Nah, you'd be fine, dude. Colonel's legit.
I
But also, like,
Yeah.
just OBS, right? Fine, just OBS. Nobody cares. Oh no, he has a streaming source. Whatever shall we do? My illusion is I want a refund. My
I want a
immersion is broken.
refund.
My immersion is destroyed, and the illusion is not confirmed.
Brother loves South Park. What's your favorite episode, man?
Nice. Got a couple of South Park heads over here.
South Park.
Dude, I don't. These little vases everywhere are just killing me. Like they're standing like perfectly straight up.
It's for a quest.
These little guys over here,
I'm telling the vases and platters,
the vases. You ever
vase
notice
and
they're
goblets.
like perfectly cardinal direction, just stiff as a board, straight up, on like a curvy little sand dune?
I swear to God, it's for a quest, man.
It's crazy. A
Whee!
chalice, that's the word.
The chalice.
Yeah,
The
man.
goblet of fire. Just put your name in the goblet of fire.
Dude, it's got. So I'm looking at. Okay.
The Passion of Christ episode.
Yeah. Dude, hair club for men. Hair club for men. So look at this. Look at this
Dude,
chalice, right? Okay.
this is for a
10,
quest.
10 polygons, right? Maybe 20 if we're lucky.
Probably 12.
Actually, I could literally sit here and count them, but and also
One,
they'd be
two,
tries.
three. Actually, you count half of it and then
Mirror it,
just
yeah.
add two or divide it
Oh,
by or add multiply by two.
okay, I'm looking around. So this is a.
One, two, three.
This texture repeats 3 times. Do you see
Wait,
that?
this is even better because they just
You see?
up and stretch forth. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2,
And then double
3.
it. Every polygon
So
you count, you
3,
have to double it.
6,
It's a try.
9, 10,
Yeah,
11,
buddy.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 times 2.
Yep. 36.
There you go. 36 polys.
I bet you there's a lot of assets and geometries that fit into Power of Twos. That has to be like a Blizzard tech art thing.
It's just all mirrored.
Well, it's not instanced.
Well, a lot of
But
it is just for quick modeling. Make an item real quick. Ju-ju-ju. Ju-ju-ju.
boom, boom, boom.
Make a barrel for me. Sure thing. Ju-ju-ju. Ju-ju-ju.
Aye, aye, Captain. Yes, Bobby Kotick, I will. I love you.
I love
here's
you,
your
Bobby.
Chalice, sir. Here's your chalice, my liege. Perfect. Put it perfectly straight up and down in the sand, right over there. Yes, sir. Enthusiastically places
Oh,
chalice.
dude. Deo, so you're gonna love this question. I about said you by your real name, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
That doesn't-
What made y'all want to make the channel, by the way? It all started when, so for years I've always wanted to make a YouTube channel, to be completely honest, but I never knew what I wanted to make it about. I just knew that I wanted to make it about gaming, and I really liked Minecraft, so I almost made a Minecraft channel first. And then I loved World of Warcraft lore, and I had no friends to talk about with World of Warcraft lore. And in the thank you video, Deosa talks about how when I was showing him the game and flying to different locations, I would point out certain things and be like, hey, in the lore this happened, hey, in the lore that happened. And I think it really helped him with getting into the game than just here's a quest, collect 5 bear butts, and then go hand it in real
Oh,
quick.
100%. Oh, dude, I would have no emotional attachment to anything
Yeah,
at all. Like, oh, there's just, there's a race of trolls and humans, and they
you're
fight
like,
each other, and that's cool, and I guess a lot of games do that, so whatever.
yeah, it's just one game after the other. And then Dry was kind of the same way, where she really loved the lore, and we wanted to. We kept on joking about it. To be honest, this YouTube channel has been around for 2 years now. I just never posted anything because I have a million other ideas, like comic book, actual books, video games. I have multiple ideas for multiple things, but I just never really jumped on it. And this is the one thing that we've actually truly jumped on and actually have started and done, I would say.
Through pure desperation.
Kind of. That, and if I could make money on the side, I hate my job. I hate my job so much. If I could make money on the side, I'd be happy.
Hell yeah. You're here.
And then I feel like Deosa joined us because he just loved the idea and thought people need to hear this. Am I right?
Yeah, pretty much. I got a lot of free time too, so it helps that
Oh god, it really
I
helped.
have yeah, I help. It helps that I can sit down and just not, you know, play Minesweeper or something stupid on the.
I
Like,
about
I
did
have,
that last night.
it's something to do, and like I said too in that thank you video, right? Like,
Yeah.
I want a PhD when this is all said and done.
I think we were both like that. I know, like, we're really good friends because we're both like that, where we start up random projects, or like we
Yeah.
think about
Oh, and then
projects.
you gotta explore the whole tree. You can't just,
Yeah,
you gotta explore that whole tree of logic and
gotta
thought
open up
for
the
sure.
whole thing.
Open up your mind. What do you see? A cult of personality. So
Lore's
the
fun and kind of dying in video games, like the Order of the White Lotus from Avatar, and I agree with that. A lot of
oh,
movies and TV
dude.
shows, they're dropping off more the story side, and they're now mainly thinking about the art side of it, which art is good, but I would rather want to play a janky game, an indie game with an amazing backstory, because art can only go so far, but an actual story can go further. I mean, just
Oh,
look at World of Warcraft. Just Warcraft itself. They've made card games, miniature games, D&D books. They've made uh, multiple games with Warcraft, World of Warcraft, all the extra servers and stuff like that, all just because of the lore surrounding it. And it's just the story, and gotta love the story. I'm gonna do a little bit of spoiler alert, but we both went to college for video game design. And what do you have to say about like lore and games and storylines?
it depends on the game. Like, I think the game that we play a lot outside of this is Repo, and the developers straight up mentioned there is no lore. They were just making an asset storm, and they had a fun game idea.
Mm-hmm.
And the players themselves, through the environment, which is cohesive, each of those levels have assets in them that are cohesive to that level. The Haunted Mansion has Haunted Mansion items, right?
Yeah.
It's things like that. So as you explore that, you fill the gaps in yourself. So there are games like that which have almost zero lore, but they're so addictive and lottery-esque in that, well, this run can just die because something stupid happens. It's completely out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's gotcha games, like Japanese gotcha games, and then I think World of Warcraft is the polar opposite spectrum, like Warhammer 30K,
Yeah.
right? And I like, the Order of the White Lotus analogy that Arnold mentioned through you. I think that's what he said, right?
Yep, the Order of the White Lotus.
That is that because that's a meta story, which is vital to the whole thing. Like no Order of the White Lotus, no Siege of Ba Sing Se, no taking back from Fire Lord Ozai, no defeating Azula in the courtyard. You know that like the tanks just roll in to Ba Sing Se and you're dead, right? So you need, you know, five to make a good story that's cohesive. You need 5 layers of something
Yeah,
at any given moment. And because World of Warcraft is so story oriented, there's 10,000 layers of story, and I do feel like sometimes, just from what I've reviewed with you guys, sometimes that does get retconned unnecessarily. Especially a lot of the older stuff just kind of goes
sadly.
away. They don't build with it because they feel like it's a ball and chain, and that's unfortunate. That's sad, and it's sad because they couldn't make it work because it was a good thing.
There
Imagine
was,
if Avatar just cuts Bossing Say
yeah,
or gives like an excuse or like a cheesy workaround because they just didn't want that. They didn't want those characters to be influential when they were, or they didn't have the foresight to use them when they were making the original plot structure. So they retcon it. Like that's for video games. It's so much easier to control a narrative than it is for a TV show. It's so much easier because we control the characters exactly, like verbatim. We don't have to worry about audience evolution. Like we can just change that in the next patch. So we can follow whatever we want. It's ridiculous. Um, I don't know. Like, yeah, like with movies and TV shows, like just different like books for right. Books you have to write down linear. One of our other instructors who wrote fantasy novels, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, the Legend of Thorgrim. He was talking about how he literally had a like. Do you remember that scene in Always Sunny in Philadelphia where you have I forget his name like Max or something, but he has like that whole whiteboard
Oh,
and he's just
Charlie, and he's
Charlie,
pointing
yeah,
up at
Charlie,
the,
and he's
yeah,
pointing up, and he's just like doing the whole thing and he's plotting all this out. Well, that was our teacher who was doing the Legend of
whose
Thorgrim.
mail is it?
Whose mail is it? And he is essentially like literally before any of the book gets written, he's got a map of all the characters, where they are at certain timelines. So maybe he's got 10 or 12 different maps per chapter, and he logs with us with needles on a board where these characters are going to go, and then what key items that they need to do or collect, and then what key elements of the story that they have to interact with. And then within that, you can literally have characters meet each other. So as you cross those pins where these characters need to go, they're going to cross over, and that's a storyline. And you can literally Dungeons and Dragons, you know, Dungeon Master, a plot line between, an interaction between those characters.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to do, it's just a lot.
I need to do that physically. I just have it all mentally.
It
And
helps. Plus, you need a big wall space.
dude, I need a big one, especially with the way that I like make characters. Which thankfully I met you.
You don't do nothing on the computer. It's got to be pencil and paper.
Yeah.
Which I respect the hell out of, by the way. I respect that.
I do everything physically. But before I met you, I just let it all fester and boil in my brain. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I need to do something. And then but my brain kept on saying, but it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. It has to be right for me to put it down on paper.
It wasn't forehead acne. It was the skin boiling on the
literally. And then you said
that.
just write it down. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about nothing. Just get it down. And that night, I wrote down like 3 sheets, multiple docs, just full of just information about that one comic book I wanted to write. Which, if this really picks up, and then I can have time and money for working on that, and then maybe I could have a comic book come out in the future. That would be really fun. Like most games in lore I've played, but I'm also picky, especially nowadays, about what games I play. Games like Heart of Iron 4 don't have lore, but I still think it's fun as hell. I agree.
That's the truth.
There's different kind of game formats that I really like. I really like stories, and then I also like relaxing, because with World of Warcraft I love it for the story, but Minecraft, Yeah, they say there is story, but let's face it, when it started off and I really got into Minecraft, there's no story in Minecraft. You can like make one. It's like Repo. There's no story in Repo, but I make it in my head. Like I connect different monsters and items with their locations and then trying to connect the areas together. But in the end, the the developers said themselves there's no story here. But yeah, I'll have to agree with you about that, Colonel. It's just it some games you kind of have to be picky with, but it's all fun in the end. If you find a good one, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth. Alrighty.
I've never heard of Heart of Iron 4. Is it good?
Well, you see Heart of Iron 1, 2, and 3. You have to play the first 3.
I never did that with
It's fun, I
Diablo
think.
or any of the Souls games. I just hopped into the third one.
Right, and that's respectable. You can get it on Steam. It's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
really good, actually. It's a top-down strategy game. I think it's turn-based. So it's like, okay, imagine like Risk on steroids.
Okay. It's crazy. I used to know so many games because I did like research into it before I went to college. But now people are like, "Hey, try out this new game." And I'm like, "I've never heard of this game before in my entire life."
Yeah, before Steam sales, like getting a new game was like a summer's worth of mowing grass and cleaning gutters. You know?
Oh, it's a World War II RTS
Yeah.
simulator.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds sick.
Yep. Yeah, buddy. Played the second one, I think, on my Windows XP machine back in the day.
Did you see that new Papers, Please vibe? But it's like a checkpoint and you have to search people's cars.
Glory to our Slotska. What's up?
Glory to our Stotska.
What's it called? What's it called? Tell me.
I'm trying to
Inform me.
remember who played it recently. I think it was Game Grumps. They played it.
Oh, I love my grumpy boys. They're great. Daniel-san.
Here it is. Contraband Police.
Contraband, please.
It is literally like Glory to our Stotska vibes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw this when it came out. There's some funny interactions in that game. Very funny interactions. Like clear out people from underneath a floorboard. It's just some guy named Ivan. He doesn't have any drugs. He was just there, just chilling. Love it.
Colonel's telling me about Heart of Iron. It sounds interesting. But I barely have enough time to add a new game. Like you guys, yesterday, Arnold, they showed me a new game, and I don't know if I'll have time to play it, but I'll play it when I can. Which reminds me, Dry should be getting off soon.
Those military turn-based strategy games can be slow builders, but then
Dry's
there's, like,
watching.
wow.
Wow.
There's moments in those games where, like Risk,
Yeah.
it builds, and then if you're playing against your best friend, you might want to kill them by the end. We had an agreement.
I
You
love
wouldn't
Risk.
take Poland. You wouldn't take Poland, and you took Poland
How
from
dare
me.
you?
How dare you? And the Russians are just like, haha.
Привет, Гадира Микошка.
Oh, dude, the betrayal in military real-time strategy games is a beautiful thing.
I absolutely love Risk. If We need to play a game of Risk.
Should do it. Should do it. 100%.
You know what we need? I need
Time out, look at
I
the
bet they
games
have it. I would love a World of Warcraft map of Risk.
Brother, check this out.
Yo.
Warden's footpads. Check this thing out. These are so ugly. You remember the other day when I got those underpant things?
Oh my gosh.
I got them. I got 'em. These.
The
I'll
barbarian underwear.
Yeah. Check this out. Check this out. Okay, so these two. I found the feeties that go with the. You see that? Look at that. It's hideous. It's beautiful.
I still got Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 in my stream library, but I need to play it. Dude, same. I think New Vegas, I played up until you get, like, the dog, and then I stopped playing. I never got back into it. I mean, it's a great game. I love the story. I love the style, the way that you go throughout the game, but it's just time. I feel like time is just a real key factor.
Yeah.
And just needing to find time to go play the game. There's so many games that I wish I could just go and play, but
I don't think that's the big issue. The big issue is the initial learning curve, right? There's a time sink to begin with, and then you can spend, you can just, like with Warcraft 3, right? You have to spend like a week learning the mechanics and how to play it, but then you can just log on, play a 15-minute round, and then log back off.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess it does have to deal with time management. It just feels like it takes forever, I guess is what you're getting at.
Yep. There's that first little blast of, oh my gosh, I can't do this.
This is gonna take forever.
After that, it's just you log in, play a game, and then log out,
The Brotherhood of Steel. What's that? The Brotherhood of Steel.
I've got no idea.
It sounds like Assassin's Creed.
I've got no idea. It sounds like a Fallout thing. Sounds like a Fallout pack.
The Brotherhood of Steel. I kill people for fun. That does sound like Fallout. Like a guild in Fallout. Oh, but if it's one game I think I really love and wish to get back into is like BioShock or Fable.
Yeah, buddy, you don't want to set that world on fire.
The way that they're laid out is so good because choices matter in those games.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly why I like it, is the choice decision and the way that it affects the world.
It is, dude, BioShock 1 is like Thief, Assassin's Creed, and Counter-Strike, like mixed up into one game. It's awesome. No, not Counter-Strike. What's that? God, dude, Serious Sam.
The Brotherhood of Steel is a religious faction inside Fallout.
Hey, we got high five, dude.
Hey, you figured it out.
Serious Sam. That's what I'm thinking. Have you ever played Serious Sam before?
That sounds familiar. Serious Sam.
Yeah, buddy.
But you know me in names.
It's a PC first-person shooter that was amazing. It's like a wave shooter. So like imagine Quake, but without just like you have to like eliminate massive bosses at the end. And you have to like defeat waves of enemies initially.
Roguelite.
Yeah, it's good. Good game.
Whoa, look at all these pirates. Die.
So BioShock is like Serious Sam, Myst, and what was that other equation I was trying to think of? Serious Sam.
Oh, I hate getting this stupid chicken quest.
It's a good time.
You ever play Command and Conquer Kane's Wrath? Command and Kane. No, I have not.
I have the original box of Command and Conquer behind me.
You have the original box?
Yep.
No, can't say I have.
No DLC though.
It sounds
Total War Shogun. Very RTS. I have a Total War Shogun right next to
Boom, called it.
me.
It just has that RTS vibe name.
Yeah, buddy. Command and Conquer is great. If you might actually seriously like Command and Conquer. It's a good time.
The real problem is I don't like RTS games. That's
You
why
might
I
like
haven't played Warcraft, is because it is an RTS. And I'm just, I'm not a fan.
I told you I have all the Warcraft.
Oh, Kane's
games
Wrath
on
3, not the first one.
I do not have King.
I still want to play the Warcraft games and just get over my fear of RTSs. I say fear. But I also noticed while Krendor, he played it and streamed like every episode. So I'll probably just go watch those.
There's also different versions. So there's
Oh, it's
Warcraft 3
different
Remastered.
timelines for the Canes of Wrath. You were saying, Day?
Oh no! If you ever play Warcraft 3, there are remastered versions that you can also play, and like pauses and all sorts of like super cheesy stuff that you can implement if you did just want to like stop and smell the roses, proverbially. So I would recommend getting not like the GOG version, the original, which is like
Yeah.
usually GOG is like $4 or whatever, but you do
Oh, hell yeah.
the legal version is the one that I got for BattleNet. By the way, coming to the main courtyard, I'll show you what you get if you buy the Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 battle pack, battle chest, or whatever it is.
You showed me that.
I showed you. You
Yeah.
already know the meatball launcher. The
Yeah.
meatball launcher. All right, I'll come to the main square. We'll show Colonel Arnold because I gotta show this. Hold up, get my mounts out. Let me get my mounts out. Da 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 da. All right. We are called farmers. Dun 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 dun. We are farmers.
If you play Warcraft 3, play the campaign called Arthas Campaign. It's fun. I imagine that's the one where you just play as Arthas and you go through his, like, storyline.
Yeah, you can play through the whole early Arthas storyline and everything.
Yeah.
I can't.
I would
I'm
love
in
to do that.
I can't mount up. I'm in constant combat. I'm locked.
Do you
Never
need to
mind.
leave the zone? Yeah. Right now I'm
I'm at-
neutral with them. Thank God.
I'm at war.
With Gadgetstan?
Possibly. Hold on, I'll double check.
Go to
Not
under
literally.
the Steam Wheel Cartel people.
No, I'm not. But it is red, so we're gonna. I am shoot on sight. I'm bad jerky, brother. All right, I'm gonna go over here and just leave.
It's a
and then I'll
custom
mount up.
campaign. Oh, that's interesting.
Mount up.
I think that was always fun with World of Warcraft. Actually, right where we're at, in the Caverns of Time, going back in time to those locations back in lore. I thought it was always interesting looking at that stuff. And then getting the quest Don Carlos, the man over there in Gadgetan, that gives you his outfit. But originally he just gave you his hat. This was before transmogs. And you can get his sombrero. And then transmogs came around, and then you only had to do it once instead of for every time on your character. I'm glad that there is some lore in World of Warcraft that they connect with other things and not just this stays in its zone location and you won't see it anywhere else.
Alright, I'm about to sell you on Warcraft 3 again. Just come back here. You just need to spawn
Where?
roses.
Where are you? There you are.
There you go, bud. There you go.
Now, do you know what this was for?
It was for making meatballs for Subway sandwiches, right?
It was for the Scourge.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, same thing, you know. Subway, the Scourge,
Same thing.
Jared Bogle. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Jared Fogle.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Hold on.
I love the trail of blood you
I
wake
hope this guy.
behind.
Dude, I've got like this infinite meatball supply behind me. It's great.
Meatballs.
Meatball.
The meat wagon.
Literally, it's the meat wagon.
The meat wagon used in the Siege of the Scourge in Warcraft 3. Hell yeah, the meat wagon.
A few more polygons on this. Oh.
It needs to be said, I absolutely love cursing. And I made the decision to try and keep Warcraft Rewrite clean. And it's painful every time I want to curse.
I'll make you crack, yeah.
Introducing the mission 3 of the Part of the Damned campaign. That's awesome. Found along the roads. Actually, I remember when I made a Blood Elf, and on the Scourge, the Dead Scar, you would find a bunch of broken up ones, and I always wondered what they were, because they were all broken. There was no like functioning ones.
When you do the Death Knight campaign, and you kill all of the people in I forget. Shoot, Twilight Highlands. I don't remember. But you kill all those people, right?
Yeah.
And then you essentially have to do that like one raid that respawn like that cycles every 30 minutes. There are a bunch of meat wagons actually, like loaded off.
The Lights Hope Chapel.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of meat wagons as you're just sitting there, and the guy with the ashburner just like looks at you.
Darian Mograine.
It's like, hello, I am Darian.
I've made way too many Death Knights.
I've made a few, but there's a few like low poly Warcraft 3 meat wagons just chilling over there. Good times.
Do.
Great times.
I'm neutral with them. Yay.
Congrats. Double check where I'm at. Reppies. Gadget Zan, I'm unfriendly with gadgets. Everlook, still hated. Shocker, Ratchet, still hated. Booty Bay, hated to halfway. You know, we're getting there. We've broken up, but I've given her a flower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is mainly for Gadgetan, and then we'll have to go to the other locations for the other people.
Right. Okay.
And then we still have to do the Dark Moon Fair rep.
When is that again? Hold on, let me check my map. May 4th. Okay. May 4th until... What does Dark Moon Fair end? Is there just a perpetual Dark Moon Fair situation going on right now? No, ends. Begins. Yeah, so 1 week, first. Every Sunday. Yeah, there you go.
That's a fun mission to listen to. I'm talking about Colonel. I read his message where the mission had you go in and retrieve the urn of Arthas's father. And he's like, what are you going to do with your father's ashes? Are you going to piss on it one more time? I didn't know what was in the urn.
It was a free cup. I couldn't help myself. I had to go. There we go.
I always thought that line was funny. You're going to piss on your father's ashes one more time.
That is funny.
And then sadly, that's when Uther dies. I love Uther. I wish... Oh, gosh. Shadowlands ruined him, and it upsets me to my core. Even though I am a Horde main and lover, Uther is my favorite World of Warcraft character.
Is that why you're a paladin?
Yeah, well, kind of. Because, like, I played other things, but The reason why I picked a paladin was because of Uther, actually.
I knew it. See, my skills of deductive reasoning.
Yes.
They're just
Uther's a
fantastic.
paladin. You're a paladin. You like Uther. Therefore,
Alright.
he's the
Therefore,
reason.
I surmise as I point my finger up in the sky. Aha! Oh, cool! I got a hat. Sweet. Oh, dude, I got a little pointy guy.
Oh, he got the actual quote. What are you gonna do? Piss on the ashes one more time before leaving his kingdom to rot? Heck yeah. You know it.
That's the idea.
Ooh, wizard hat. Did I get anything else weird?
I got a wizard hat.
These look interesting.
I'm a magical princess. Alright, let's go over here. Ship's cleared.
I usually just go to the ship whenever, Oh, this looks weird. Whenever I have a key.
Yeah, I did. That's what I just did. That's what I got in the chest was a wizard hat.
We have a plan for Shadowlands and fixing Uther and Arthas instead of him being a goofy ball of light.
It'll be a serious ball of light. It'll be very
He'll be a
straightforward.
serious ball of light. Bigger, brighter, shinier, blinkier even.
They don't know.
They have so many models for Arthas in-game, and they couldn't have just put an opaque transition on him to make him look dead. But no, they made him a wisp of light.
Well, so why does he have blue skin? Is my question. Like, when did that happen, and why did that happen?
Why does Arthas have blue skin? Because he...
No, Uther.
Uther has blue skin in Shadowlands because he went to
Right.
Bastion and he was becoming a... What are they called? A savior? They become like the... When you go to Bastion, there's
Like that Valkyrie in
Yeah.
ICC. Okay,
So
got it.
So they become those Valkyr people, like angels, to become or not redemptions. We accidentally said it wrong in the video. They become like saviors, and there's like the corrupted version of the Valkyr. They're not supposed to have that deep blue skin. It's because the Bastion was running out of anima, and they were kind of becoming... What's the word I'm looking for?
Special.
Traders?
Oh.
Or like corrupted. They were becoming a corrupted version of what they were supposed to become. And because Uther was scarred, he got the blue skin disease, basically. And they were like anima hungry.
They needed their fix. I got you.
Yeah.
Like
But he was on the path to become a savior because he was such a holy, well-known paladin in life, and they wanted to train him, but he kept on getting hurt, and they were like, what's wrong? And he's like, I just can't let go. And they're like, you need to learn to let go. And he's like, I can't. And then they're like, what's wrong? And he showed him the scar, and they're like, that's not normal, because the ruined blade that he got stabbed with did damage to his soul, not just his body. That's why he has blue skin.
Muchas gracias.
Wisp Arthas summons his Wisp brothers and blow up Sylvanas and the jailer. What is he, Malfurion? If you don't get that joke, Deosa, it's because when Balthazar was summoned on Azeroth, he went to go attack the World Tree in Mount Hyjal, and Malfurion blew a horn to summon a bunch of Night Elf souls to go to
Yeah.
him and blow him up, thus blowing up a world tree. I think it was Balthazar. No, wait, Balthazar's the demon. I meant the other one. Hey, Dry. Archromon, that's it. Killing people, that's what we do. Giant demon leader. Yes, the one of the 3 Draenei's that were promised prosperity in life by drinking the demon blood, but Prophet Velen left, and Archromon gladly accepted it.
I'm gonna slip you $5 to not say anything bad about Draenei ever. Thank you. Here you go. I know you got this really cool channel, and I know it has a really big reach. And I just, as a Draenei, I would just like to say that I love your work. Here's $5. You just put that right there. Okay, thank you. As a Draenei, I just love your work, and I hope that everything that we do
Here's $5.
is accurately represented. Here's another $5. Is accurately represented.
What is this?
Very
the government?
Here's another $5 just a little $5 right there. Okay, and I just hope that everything that we did comes off accurately in your reporting. Thank you very much. The end. Goodbye.
Well, if it makes you feel better,
will be
you're
watching.
not the red Draenei. You're the. Actually, you're just Draenei. Draenei is
I'm
not the actual home of the goat people.
Right. I am light.
It would be the Eredar.
Eredar. Erodar. How do you say that word phonetically correctly?
Eredar? Eredari?
Erodar. I always read it as Eradar, but I don't know. That's probably not right.
Gotta be $10, not 5.
Well, he's just.
Draenei are like the Warcraft universe's potatoes, so it's fine.
I always thought mushroom was a more accurate. Mycelium.
Mycelium.
Fungal.
No, that's more of like the Tauren and High Mountain Taurens. I feel like
That's
Draenei are truly understood as
we're
potatoes.
We're both products of soup, is what you're trying to tell me.
Because there's like 3 different kinds of Draenei variants.
Well, there's about that many types of potatoes, so.
Exactly. Well, oh wait, that means that there's more. Okay, so it's more like a troll. It's like a troll because there's trolls. There's different tribes of trolls, and then there's the different corrupted or non-corrupt. I say corrupted, but when they stayed by the Well of Eternity, they became into elves, the Highborn, and then they became night elves, and then they became blood or high elves, and then they became blood elves, and then there was void elves. They're the true potatoes of the World of Warcraft universe.
Fair.
I do also love how they use evolutionary theory for World of Warcraft races instead of here's a monster, it's always been here in the world.
Yeah, because there's like skeletons that you can find of creatures that just do.
Oh, he didn't say potatoes. I thought he said potatoes. Draenei are like the Warcraft universe's protos. Protos.
Protos.
Protos. Protoss. Protoss.
Protoss.
Protoss.
Potatoes.
Prototos.
Delicious. Robes of Insight. Holy smokes, brother Bill. Check this out. Look what I just looted.
Show me. Show me.
Don't know if you can show this on stream because it is risque.
Nudity is involved.
Well, it's World of Warcraft nudity, so not really. Not quite Skyrim.
Kill, kill, kill.
That's Colonel Arnold what he thinks about the.
This
the
is not
Oblivion.
scandalous.
Fair enough. What do you think about the Oblivion remake? Or have you played it? Or are you gonna buy it? I've got the box. I have the original unsealed Prima Game Guide and 2 copies of Oblivion, like the Ultimate Collector's Game of the Year edition, and then the original PC case. And when that re-release was announced, the eBay prices for those discs shot up. People are on the nostalgia bug for anything like Daggerfall, all those old games.
Telling me to get good. How dare you? I have never played Oblivion. I do not plan on getting the remake.
Played Skyrim before then.
I have played Skyrim.
What'd you think of that?
I love Skyrim. I still have it.
It's my favorite thing. All right. It's a good time.
Having a good time, having a good time.
Did you see how many copies they sold of that game day one?
Of Oblivion?
Dude, no, of the remastered, just like recently, like this last week.
No idea.
It's astronomical. Multi-million copies.
Yeah, but is it like Fallout numbers where a guy bought one using bottle caps?
I mean, maybe.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That is funny. That is funny. Dude, I'm losing brain cells killing me.
Oh.
There we go.
Protoss are a race in StarCraft.
Ooh.
I never played StarCraft.
Frodo's, I think.
Protoss. Potatoes.
That makes sense. I have the StarCraft battle chest. I've never played it. I have the StarCraft 2 battle chest box set. Never, ever, ever touched it. Actually, you know what? For Discord's sake, I might go back there and show Colonel Arnold the collection real quick. Hold on.
Post it on the Discord.
Yeah. Give me some subjects to talk about. Hold on.
I've never done StarCraft, mostly because I'm not a big fan of like space or alien technology. But I do like Diablo. I'm more into like medieval content. Having a good time, having a good time. Oh, that's cool. They think alien caveman. So they were the ones that created the alien technology.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Turn around. I'll just not loot an area for a while on the ground. And just
Come up here. Come up on the ship.
Okay. Ship toss.
Loot this guy.
Got it. Bro, what?
He was a rare.
Ooh, hello. Nice.
Nice.
Show you what I got.
Oh, those look cool.
Yeah.
For classic.
No, they're just cool, man. I don't want you. Don't hate that low poly stuff. It's good. It's got emotion.
Oh, the information was given to them by the gods. I'm learning so much about StarCraft. And I feel like no matter how much people plead, I'll probably never play it.
Going back to RTS, that is a hard RTS to pick up and master, though. StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2, oh boy, those are tough games to learn.
See ya, Colonel.
Peace.
Thank you for helping me figure out if you can hear people for the very first Warcraft rewrite stream. Watching me run around and kill people.
And the very last.
And the very last. Goodbye.
This is it.
This is it. This is it. This is the very first, very last. You won't ever see us ever again. Actually, I'm deleting the channel after this. Yep, that's it.
So this
That's
was
done.
all the social experiment.
This is a what is it called? It's a this is Unis Honest vibe. All right, but instead of a whole year, it's just one day.
Okay, that was Markiplier and who else? So Jack.
Ethan.
Ethan? Who's Ethan again?
Forgot his name.
Dude.
Or his last name,
That's
but yeah.
a throwback. That's a throwback.
I was there for the entire thing.
That's a throwback. When was that? Like, that was like right after college, right? Or right like during?
After
Dang.
the last episode. I dressed up and everything. I watched the final live stream. I watched the channel get shut down and everything.
That was a big event. I didn't partake in any of it, brother, but that was a big event. People were like making effigies and like crying into their pillows. Like, that was wild.
I wore a full suit and everything. Yeah, Crank Gameplays is the YouTube is Ethan Nestor. Ethan Nestor. That's his last name.
What's that guy up to?
People have wanted a second one for so long, and they're like, no, that's the whole point, was for it to just be a year. That's the whole idea. But recently they did hint at it.
They need money.
It would make them a lot of money if they did a number 2. Get it? Number 2.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Alright, I just sparkled green for some reason. Reputation. Neutral. Oh, I'm neutral with Gadget Sam. I need to be anything other than neutral.
We have to be... I have it written down. Exalted.
Great. That's awesome.
That's great.
Alright.
4 people are watching us?
Why? Go away. Leave.
Sorry, only cool kids allowed.
Do you have chest hair? Yes or no? If yes, you may stay. If no, get out of here. Rank game, guys.
Having a good time, having a good time. They had, like, what was it?
What were these beautiful boys doing for?
That last video, like the last live stream that they did.
Yeah.
People were posting photos of like what they were wearing, and I put on my Jack Skellington outfit that I made by hand. So it's a full suit, like black suit, black pants, and then I painted white stripes all over it, and I was like, that fits the vibe perfectly.
You're just so cute sometimes, you know that?
Oh,
You're just a cute dude sometimes.
not
Dude,
weird at all.
should I made outfits like that? That'd be dope. That'd be dope. I wish I had the confidence to make an outfit for myself and wear it.
What? Wait, what?
Like, I don't have any, like, seamstress skills at all. Or, like, the ability to put together outfits.
I didn't make, like, I didn't seamstress the outfit together.
Oh, you just bought the individual parts of costume.
Yeah, I got...
When you said I made the costume, I was like, oh, so you were, like, sitting out at a sewing
No,
machine.
no.
You were,
Like,
you were burning the midnight oil, like a penman, like, writing a letter under candlelight. You were just, like,
the
away.
the only thing I did to the suit was that I had this, like, paint for clothes, and it was white, and I painted white lines across the entire suit and pants. And then I had to let it dry.
Do you still have this?
Dry seen it.
How long did it take you to make?
Like a week, to be honest. Probably half a week. Because I had to do a side, had to let it dry, and then I flipped it, and then I had to do it again. I got down to like, I had 3 bottles of that paint, and I got down to the very last drop.
That's dedication.
Reputation check. I'm still neutral with them.
Booty Bay,
I'm still hated by everyone else, but we'll have to go to those other
Yeah.
pirates to gain better rep for those people.
For the booty cheeks, I am 21,288. Everlook is 22.
Recipes.
Ratchet is 22,805. So about 22 for all of the other ones besides gadgets in. Which is good, I guess. So, yay.
Why does it have to be exalted?
It'll feel so good. You get it? You just
When
do
I
that.
become fully insane.
Just the greatest. It'll be euphoric, ethereal, orgasmic, all of those things.
Careful, remember this is streaming on YouTube.
Blizzard will come and they'll just pat you on the back, give you a certificate, say job well done,
Job well done.
and then you'll tell it to your friend and say, look what Blizzard did for me. Say,
Be like, look at me, I have the insane title. Even though the achievement isn't technically an achievement anymore, I just hope that I still get the title.
and you'll be able to see it, and nobody else will be able to see it.
That'd be funny.
It'd be really funny.
Because if I look right now, and I go to achievements, and I look up in, even just typing IN, yeah, nothing shows up. And the achievement's called Insane in the Membrane. Nothing showing up. So hopefully I get it.
Could be a hidden achievement.
What?
It could be a hidden achievement.
It could. Blizzard has talked about how there is stuff that people have still not found since Classic. Ooh, a shield. My bags are filling up. Let's sell.
I have many wares.
And there's nothing we can do to like. There's not a world quest out there that gives us reputation to do this.
Not unless if it conflicts with the blood sale.
Fix the blood cell.
I'm collecting all their alcohol. I'm just holding on to it.
We're gonna start a brewery.
Heck yeah.
One type of alcohol, but you know, beggars can't be choosers.
I'll keep the lockpick. So much alchemajol.
May your feet find good trails.
Give me the captain's key. Give me the captain's key. Give me the captain's key. Dang. Alright.
Deserve it.
I deserve it.
Getting the insane in the membrane achievement is the hardest and most time-consuming thing players can do in Warcraft.
Did you look it up?
This is Almar's Guides from These factions include all of the goblin reputations ever looked from eBay, Ratchet, Gadgets, and Ravenhold faction, Bloodstone Buccaneers, Fair faction. This achievement used to require more factions, but Wizard decided it was too hard and few of the requirements. Players that are insane enough to do this achievement will win the title. This faction resulting is extremely time consuming. Yada yada yada.
Yada yada yada.
Raven faction. Let me see what I'm at with Raven. Right. Raven.
Die.
Do we even have Raven faction? That's something that's still required. Called something else. Check. Hills Bard.
Well, I think it's official. Streaming on YouTube does work.
Does work, yeah.
Hopefully, I'll be able to do the average Joe challenge on here so that people aren't just watching me run around in circles killing the same thing. Four people are watching this. 4 people find this entertaining. What is wrong with you people?
It's just dry. She's got 4 tabs open.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
I respect that. Venture Bay. Let's see. This is working. I'm not
What's
worried about
wrong
it.
with you people? Who are you people?
Who are you people? Go away, leave us.
Who are you people?
Alright. Click on that.
Is there anyone behind this house? No. Okay. Can't leave any stone unturned or something. However that saying goes.
Yeah. That's about right.
I eat glue.
Hey, another captain's key.
Lucky.
I know, dude, for
I
real.
don't care.
You don't care at
It's
all. That's
fine.
fine. I'm just gonna go over here. I'm gonna unlock. Maybe I'll get a treasure. Ooh, I might get a treasure. Ooh, a treasure.
Treasure.
Yeah.
I'm about to hit another level with Gadgetan. Gadgetan? Who's Stan? Gadgeton?
Standarsh.
Stan Gersh. Gad. G-A-D. Gad. Get. Zan. Gad get Zan.
Gal Gadot Zan.
Gal the Gilzy. Get the good gills.
Alright. Your brain. You should stop streaming. Your brain.
Gills good. Gingles good.
Oh, we're losing them. Take deep breaths. Take deep breaths.
Hold on.
Not like that. Stop. We're losing. Drag it on. Your boy needs help.
Gas good. Gingles good. It's very nice.
Oh, dude, you know what? I never checked the bow. Like, what is it called? The bowels of the ship? I never checked the bowels of the ship, dude. There's
The
always like, a few people
bowels.
down there. Yeah. There's always a few people down there. It's like I'm
Oh, it's a
leaving, like,
belt. Dude.
dude.
Dude, look at this belt, man.
Show me,
Dude.
guy. What you got?
I keep pressing the wrong
Demonstrate.
buttons. Hold on. I am losing it, I guess. There you go.
I desire.
It's
I desire.
Shiny.
The belt. Sun skill belt. Blank. Sun skill belt. Oh my goodness.
It's
That
so
is gold.
shiny.
That is really gold. My God.
The item like
Jeez Louise.
identification tag thing is a gold chain.
He's a pimp.
I probably shouldn't say that on YouTube.
Nah, you're fine. I think it's like the first 5 minutes, and then stay away from like political topics or
Well, I'll always stay away from political topics.
I'm trying to think. Political topics like excessive, like slurs. Don't do slurs. Slurs are bad.
That's the
Just,
worst
just in
part.
case, just in case you didn't know, slurs are bad. And then
Otherwise, I get demonetized. But wait, I'm not monetized. It doesn't matter at this point.
right now,
It's
yeah. But
later
then
on.
also, like whether it promotes you in the algorithm or whatever. You gotta play the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they punish you long term, dude. But I'm pretty sure you can say pimp.
You sure about that? Let's
Yeah,
test it.
Well, just make a 5 minute block of just like a recording of saying the word pimp and then just hitting like the
Pimp.
key just to play it over again. Pretty sure it's fine.
Pimp. I was about to say something from the episode of South Park, but I'm pretty sure if I say what I'm thinking of, I will definitely not get high in the algorithm.
Right. The old algo.
Oh my gosh.
I might. What's that? It's a setting, I think, in option, edit mode,
What?
cooldown manager. That's what I wanted.
A cooldown manager?
Yeah, there's a new thing called cooldown manager. It's like it used to be like a bunch of plugin stuff, and then they just added it because they're cool.
Oh yeah. With
Like,
the new
we're-
update that just came out. Which
yeah,
was,
we're gonna be
I
like
gotta
that.
say, the dumbest update that's been out in a long time is the most recent one.
It was pretty goofy.
Nothing. Especially after such an amazing one of gadgets in. Or, I've been saying it so long. No, the Undermine. Because, especially coming after the Undermine, kind of
Yeah.
weak.
So now that like a month and a half has gone by, 2 months, what was your initial feelings about the Undermine and how that played in with the guy who takes the heart from the lady
Gallywix.
Gallywix, thank you, and like his story. Now he's like for sure dead. He's gone. Like clap your hands, dust off. He's dead.
I don't think he's actually dead.
And the revolt. You don't think he's dead?
I don't think
You
he's
think
dead.
he got Darth Mauled?
Yeah.
He got Disney Darth Mauled?
Yeah,
Alright.
100%. They're really good at doing that with Void, like, bosses. A lot of Void
Gallywix.
bosses just get taken away mysteriously, but they always come back. You'll notice that a lot in World of Warcraft lore. But, when it first came out, I was extremely excited because they've talked about the Undermine before in-game in quests and other stuff like that. But it's always been noted at being in the Goblin homeworld of Kazan. And that's where like the Village Water Cartel is mainly from, although other cartels have been on that island. But it's one of the main shipping locations for goblins. And I was excited because we finally get to go back there, and it's also where Gallywix made his biggest score, which he had Azurite before we knew what Azurite was. It was on his cane. It's the topper to it. And they also believe that Deathwing didn't set off the volcano. Gallywix did by digging in too deep. And then they showed the Motherlode raid, which brought you back to Kazan, and you got to see basically where a bunch of Azurite was that was coming out of the island, but you never got to go into the Undermine. And then finally they talked about the Undermine, and we got to go in and check it out, but for some reason, which I know why they did it, but it kind of made me angry. They showed the Undermine by Calzalgar, with the new map being by the Ream Depths, and my brain first went, that's dumb, because that's not where Undermine is located. This does not make lore sense. It doesn't connect whatsoever. And it genuinely made me angry every single time I saw the map. It was until I started doing quests around there, and I realized that they have a drill going to that location. So, thankfully, they didn't change or retcon the location of Undermine. The drill just takes you to Kazan, underground, where Undermine is technically located. And I was happy about that. And then they also show different locations that Undermine can lead you to with those giant drills. And it kind of opens up where goblins want to go to and what is seen as valuable. Another thing I loved was in the Ringing Depths, in the little tiny location that you run to down in that pocket, at the very, very southern tip, you can look down, and past it is a bunch of black blood, but also Titan artifacts and statues. So it shows that there's Titan influence down there, and we haven't seen. I need to be careful how I word this. We have seen Titan influence on Kalzagar, because technically, the Isle of Dorn is Titan. They are literally Titan keepers. They're Titan forged.
Mhm.
So
That's all
but
the architecture that looks like it was,
yeah,
Titan stuff, literally
they
everywhere, all over the place.
yeah, they're all made by the Titans. They are the Titans, like pawns and stuff like that. The whole island is Titan. But when you go underground, it kind of swings away from Titan architect and it goes into natural what's in that area until you look down at that southern point, and then you finally see like hardcore Titan, and not just like new Titan with the Isle of Dorn. I feel like it's like a different um what's the best way of saying this? In Miss Pandaria, Ronan, I think is his name. He's a Titan keeper, and you take him to the heart chamber, and he says, "Oh, I recognize this location. It was crafted by this Titan keeper," and he calls him by name. And that shows that there's different Titan keepers craft and make in certain different styles.
Yeah.
And at that southern tip in the Ringing Depths are those older version of the statues that you would find in like Ulduar. And it shows that it's been there probably before certain events in the Isle of Dorn, because a different Titan Keeper worked on that location. And another thing that really made me happy was just the whole aesthetic and style of goblins. It's
Yeah.
been so long since we've talked about those races, because World of Warcraft is mainly orcs versus humans, and that's what they always play at. And they always like stick with their safe bets, orcs versus humans. And I've always wanted them to talk about goblins, and I think that's one reason why I really liked Cataclysm, was because Cataclysm got to really bring goblins to the forefront.
That's how you start out. You literally start out the expansion just riding around, and then all of a sudden Deathwing comes in and blows everything up, right?
Yeah,
So I can see why you like it.
I love goblin stuff. It's funny, it's goofy, it's wacky. They are the
Yeah.
true engineers of the world, and people are like, no, gnomes are. And I have a whole theory about that, which is goblin engineers are just mages, and it has to deal with how they get their technically, like, their technology and their batteries and resources and energy is all ley line energy based. So they're just using a different form of mana in their like energy cells. But goblins, if you notice their technology, it's literally batteries, and they're using actual technology. Anyway, but that's a different topic for another time. They're just weird mages. But back to the Undermine, I just love the whole aesthetic, the music, the style, and the way that they deal with certain things. It's a small map, but they're so good at making it feel large at the same time.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, they nailed it. It's the perfect map for a patch, because it's not too big, it's not too small, and you can do everything, and it just never gets old, I feel. Another thing that really got me back to Titan influence is in one of the garbage patches that you dig around in, there's a Titan hammer or an orb, and it makes me think that Gallywix might have dug too deep, and he ran into another form of like another heart chamber basically, and he created the Undermine out of the technology that was already there, and he basically just stole it.
Ooh.
But that's just a fan theory. A fan theory.
There's like a little bit of ancient Rome meets Atlantis situation going on there, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
The Atlanteans invented batteries.
I think Gallywix is one of the funniest villains. He's
Yes, I would.
hated so much
Yep.
by both sides. It really shows that
Yeah.
the Horde and Alliance can work together because they genuinely hate this guy. And even his own workers hate him. No one likes him. No one in the entire world. And if you listen to his backstory and the lore behind him, it's actually kind of sad because he grew up like in the slums, and you know the whole like Jiminy Cricket, I'm gonna grow up to be a real boy kind of shit, whatever the fuck I'm trying to influence your brain to think about. I just cursed a lot, I just realized. um hey, Colonel's back. But yeah, everybody hates Gallywix, and the last time we saw him was in Shadowlands in a raid where he was sitting down with a bunch of Ouroboros traders. And I thought we would see him later, but little did I know that we were going to see him sooner than later. And of all places, back in his hometown, which I thought was pretty strange after the collapse of the Shadowlands. But I think they did Undermine amazingly.
I agree. I love the music, like you said. It's really good. It's really, really good.
What's up, Colonel?
It's good to know. I know a lot of people don't like the trash collecting missions. That's a big that's a big complaint I've heard, but it's also not. That's like the weak point in a lot of strong things.
They have to do something like that, sadly. It kind of goes for every expansion, every patch, every game known to mankind, is you always have to have those side missions that are extremely tedious and grindy. No matter what, there's always going to be grind out there. And if you say, this game doesn't have grind, I bet I can find grind in that game. And you know what? People are going to do it because it's the fastest way to a certain thing. Be it items or EXP or gold, there's always grinds in everything. Because there could be 1,000 quests, but in the end, people will blow through those 1,000 quests in one day.
Imagine when Fallout 4 came out and everybody was like, there's like 400 hours of content in this thing.
Yeah.
By like day 3, kid in the class named Joshua, and just like, hey, I figured it
Yeah,
out.
I already did it all. It's
Yeah,
like that
100% of it.
space game that came out not too long ago where they're like, there's multiple planets throughout the entire universe, and then that guy's like, I discovered them all. I researched them all.
Yep.
He just didn't go down like the main storyline. He just went out searching planets, and he found them all. And they're like, this should have taken you like years. And he's like, no, I did it in like a couple of months. That's the problem.
I haven't slept yet.
And that's why there's always those quests. That's why there's always those grinding things.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, alcohol check. Hold on. Volatile rum. Rum. 10, 20, 30,
I wish
40,
they
50,
never
60.
had Calthulos go evil. Wanted him to stay loyal to Illidan. And him and Illidan, Lady Vashir, made a third faction in WoW. Now that would have been interesting. It would have been kind of hard to sell that for a third faction, because then what would you do with the Blood Elves when they were already siding with the Horde? And I've always wanted Naga in-game. I don't care what people say. Pants don't work on them, shoes don't work. It's like, look at some creatures that we have. Look at the Draenei, they have shoes. You're telling me you can't make a Naga have like a robe on for pants? And then for shoes, just have it be at the end of their like spikes or something? Or just have it as an item attachment, and then you just gain the stats and armor. Doesn't have to be visual. Blood Elves won't join the Horde. So you're saying when they were creating Burning Crusade, they already had it on in mind? I guess they could, because they knew that they were out there in Outlands together. But we all know it was merely a setback. Deosa, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, the Blood Elves are red, ergo they must be part of the Horde. So you know that just illogically.
They're not red. Oh, you mean like blood is red, therefore they have to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That would be pretty interesting if they planned it ahead, because then you could have the demon hunters right off the bat.
You'd have like a Pandarian situation where you get to choose your faction as you make the character, whatever.
I never got why the Blood Elves joined the Horde. They did the Alliance dirty to them. They joined, so it stems back to the reason why the Night Elves also hate the High Elves, and that has to deal with the Night Elves believed that Druidism was the true form of magic and wanting to be peaceful, but one of the High Elves said all forms of magic should be able to be used, and they ostracized him, and he took a bunch of High Elves with him, and they traveled across the Eastern Kingdoms and made their way up, and they did side with the original Alliance, but then that was also before like Night Elves joined in the fight during the First War against the Orc invasion. Why did they side with the Horde? I think they sent out emissaries to the Horde and Alliance, and because of the addictive nature to mana, the Alliance ostracized them for being like little addictive and then dabbling into fell magic. But the Horde saw them, and like with every other Horde race that joined the Horde, they were just misfits, and they just needed a place to feel like at home. And that was Thrall's main like reason of bringing people together in the Horde, because the Torn were dwindling out, the Forsaken, they were completely pushed out by the Alliance, and what's the other race I'm forgetting? Trolls. Not Zandalari. The Darkspear tribe was pushed out by other tribes, with Sinjin, Vol'jin's father, being killed, and him needing to find a place for his own tribe.
And your favorite race of all time, the Volpira.
Those don't happen until later on.
No, it's your favorite race. The misfits, you know.
They definitely do fit in. But yeah, it all has to deal with the Alliance joining, or the Horde, people joining the Horde because they're a bunch of misfits.
I love when we first played with the Volpira, you're like, this is a food source. This isn't a race that we should be playing.
So true. I would rather want to be one of the snake guys in the desert than the little furries.
100%.
Sounds like the grade A BS Blizzard wanted the Horde. That is true, actually. It was stated that they wanted elves to join the Horde so that there was more Alliance players playing on the Horde side. It was to divide up numbers, because Alliance numbers were too high in the beginning, and then eventually it actually swayed, and now there's more Horde players in World of Warcraft. They did the same thing with Worgen. They made the Worgen on the Alliance side because they're monsters, and they want Horde players to go play on the Alliance side. Which a lot of people have been wanting High Elves on the Alliance side, which would fit perfectly, because there is still High Elves out there, but people thought it would be dumb because it's just literally Blood Elves but with blue eyes. but people that follow the lore say otherwise because there's so much, history behind the characters. In the book Before the Storm, so Colonel Arnold was talking about a split faction between the Forsaken, some going to the Horde and some going to the Alliance. And then the
Yeah.
book Before the Storm, there was a group of Forsaken that had families in Stormwind, and they got to go see at a halfway marker to go see their family, and Sylvanas brought guards and Anduin brought guards, just in case of a surprise attack. Uh, the Forsaken families and the alive human families got to meet up with each other. They got to chatting, and then some of them said, "Hey, come see like how we live in Stormwind," and they started walking away. And
Yeah.
Sylvanas thought that they were like abandoning her, so she opened fire and killed all the Forsaken and all the humans that were there.
Unfortunate.
Get good.
Yep. You shouldn't have made a shaky alliance with a witch queen who has a series of cannons pointed at your city.
Yeah.
That seems just like a tactical misfortune there, but
But emissaries, or was it emissaries? Some people really didn't want Wisp Arthas to blow her now. Yeah, it would have been fun to watch her just completely die at the end of Shadowlands. But I also love Sylvanas as a character. I hate what they did with her, genuinely, but since I first started playing World of Warcraft, I always liked Sylvanas. Not in that way, anyway. Um, but
let's see your search history there, bud.
in no, in what was it? In the story, she sent emissaries both to the Horde and Alliance, and they were both Forsaken. And the ones that went to go see the Alliance never came back because they were killed. Probably because they thought that they were part of the Scourge. But the one that survived was the one that went to go see the Horde, and they said yes to helping the Forsaken out. Which was funny because the Forsaken was the last race to join the World of Warcraft roster for vanilla.
Didn't they have
They didn't know
like,
what to add.
too? They're
What?
like a different model. No, I'm thinking of the undead. Sorry.
No,
The
you're probably thinking of the
undead
Trolls.
and
Trolls
the
had a different
Trolls
model at the time
had
too.
different models. The undead
But
have different models, yeah.
what they should have done was ogres, because ogres came through the dark portal with them, and even Cho'Gall was in charge of the Twilight Hammer cultists, or Twilight cultist, whatever they were. They were a clan at the time. But yeah, they should have done that instead. I should really check. Let's see my messages. What do you think, Day? Should Forsaken should have stayed?
Mm. No. I think sometimes you just need to George R.R. Martin a plot line. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
you gotta make a tragedy. If everything's like, sunshine and rainbows, then nothing ever happens.
Welcome back to the Alliance. We understand your pain.
Die! You're leaving me!
It's
I
a
am
scourge.
insecure! Fire the cannons!
Fire the cannons.
Nah.
You can't leave me. How did she not and the rest of the Forsaken not get subjugated after Arthas put on the Helm of Damnation? He was... I think the Warcraft and World of Warcraft games, they list that he's still weak in the game, and he's been like slowly gaining up strength, because by the time that we actually get to Wrath of the Lich King, only 3 years have passed since he froze himself in ice. Or no, wait. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's 7 years. Because you have to think about like BC. But he gets weak because he gets done fighting Illidan, he's losing control, and he freezes himself in ice so that Ner'zhul and him can lock up and like get strong again. And he slowly does stuff in Northrend as we're questing through to make himself stronger, but we also find ways to weaken him. And I think that they just state that because they're too far away, they're in like a different continent, that there's no more control. And that's why when we do fight Scourge in vanilla, they're insane and they're not really controlled by anyone unless if there's a necromancer nearby, like in Skullomance. But other random Scourge around the world, they're just attacking randomly. There's no control behind them.
They don't have like a big faction they're adhered to. They're just ready to stab on sight.
Yeah. It wasn't
until...
SAS
rule.
What?
They call that the SAS rule. SAS, stab on sight.
Oh, yeah.
Are you feeling sassy today?
You feeling sassy?
Two very different things.
The helm has a... can't say that word. Range. And I would say, yeah. It would be... I think it would be hilarious. It would have been too hard for them to do at the time, but if you brought a Forsaken character to run ICC, if they control them a little bit, that'd be hilarious. Now, I never actually did the original Wrath fight. I've never done the original one.
Remy and Ratatouille.
Yeah, that would have been funny. There is parts in the fight where he does control you, but...
Mind domination or mind
Is
control.
that a bad word? To be honest, I'm new to YouTube, so I'm not going to try to say any bad word, even though I just said the F word not too long ago. I need to learn how to have a clean mouth. It's for the greater good of this YouTube channel, hopefully getting better.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. I'm not going to read that comment out loud, though. It's a lesser version of insert word here. Yes, I will agree with that. But I don't know what words I can and cannot say. Pretty sure I can say the word poopy. Well, that's poopy.
Don't.
Let me go watch Coco Melon real quick and let me figure out what words I can and cannot say.
It is not the way.
I wish I had one of those buttons that I can press on my desk that counts as its own sensor, so I can be like, what the?
Get you a Stream Deck.
Yeah.
That'd help me out a lot in video editing, I tell you what.
No, but like, I want like a physical button that I get to press. That way, when I get angry, I can just slam down on it.
Yeah, it won't be like a little macro button either. It'll be like a giant, like Staples, this is easy button.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Oh, dude. Mad Dog Wish on it. Yeah, buddy. I like
What is this, VeggieTales? Yes, it is. Broccoli, celery, pigs on my knees, VeggieTales. Cauliflower, on the hour, every hour.
Oh my gosh.
VeggieTales. My cheeseburger.
Dude, Larry Boy was underrated. I'm gonna be real with you.
I love you, my cheeseburger. What was the other song? We've talked about this before in the past.
Yeah, we did. We did. We've had many a conversation of Mr. Flint and his VeggieTales. Dude, I don't want to talk about VeggieTales anymore. Never mind. I'm just not even gonna bring it up.
Okay.
Never mind.
Broccoli.
Stop. I'm gonna stab your kneecaps. How's that for YouTube?
How's that for YouTube? I think they're
Take
okay with it.
Splint to your kneecaps. How about that?
I'll pull out your hangnail. Clean cursing on YouTube 101.
Here's how you cuss somebody out, wholesome style.
Wholesome style. Your mother.
It begins with an insult to someone's close family or relative.
Just stay away from certain words like beep 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 beep. What is this, Morse code? Let me curse in Morse code for a second. Hold on.
Have you seen those desk switches? That people can like literally communicate over like shortwave frequency, like to their best bud for free. You just like set up a little Morse code and you just have it ping out over like a ham radio. You just talk to your buddy.
What is that
Just
like?
make like little call signs. It's awesome. It's so cool. I want one. I'm gonna teach you how to do it.
Okay. You're gonna buy
Dude,
me one.
When the apocalypse hits, I can just build you one with a Raspberry Pi. I go get a microcontroller and build it.
I was
Dude,
about to say,
here's-
just do a Raspberry Pi.
get a little microcontroller, like run on half a watt. It'd be great. Just ping each other like news and information and memes just over short wire. It'll be great.
Dude, check this out. I know you hate it, but the movie Nobody, where he has like that radio set up in his office set to his friend or brother, whatever.
I hate it.
I thought you hated. We've talked about the movie Nobody before, and I thought you hated it.
I don't remember. Is that the like 2020 COVID movie that got delayed?
I don't think
Like
it
with
got
Bob-
delayed, but it's like
Bob Odenkirk and everything in there.
it was created by the same
Yeah.
creator as
Yeah.
John Wick.
I haven't watched it. Hate's a strong word. I don't remember anything about it.
Okay. I love that movie. I think it was good.
Great. No, now okay. Well, then I guess I hate it then.
There's a side of me that wishes, because it was like the same director as John Wick, he
No.
gets out his hidden money. It's just a bunch of gold out of a ping pong machine, and I just wish so badly that he would have pulled out at least one of the coins from the John Wick movies that they use as trade, just to show that it's kind of a connected universe. I would have loved that, but they didn't.
Canon in universe. And then Liam Neeson comes out. You've taken my daughter. Prepare to die. Shuts flip phone aggressively.
Why didn't Arthas go straight to the mall? I think it's difficult. It kind of goes back to that whole idea of what sin is like a genuine sin that would take you to the maw. Because Arthas did horrible things. Agreed. Like the burning of Satrath and all that stuff. But he was also coerced in doing certain things under the control of Ner'zhul whispering to him, especially when he put on the helmet. How much of it was Arthas doing what Arthas was doing versus what was Ner'zhul telling him what to do?
Ner'zhul do be a sneaky little guy like that. He do be whispering in your ear from time to time.
Because Arthas was a extremely holy paladin until he started kind of going mad to the whispers and then picking up Frostmourne, and then that drove him basically completely insane, destroying his entire kingdom and killing Uther and all that stuff.
Like, imagine giving a Molgoth deity powers.
Yeah.
That's
Literally 10 out of 10.
All right. Demon Lord XX79, I'm going to give you basically 14 silverback gorillas worth of strength.
I'm friendly with them.
Congrats, brother.
Why does it have to
Goodie
be
bags,
exalted? Why?
Why, oh why?
It just has to be exalted. I would have to rewatch that short little clip where it shows Uther tossing him into the maw to figure out where she did get the soul from. She pulls it out pretty randomly. I honestly have no idea where she gets the soul from, but it's definitely not the maw with how separated everything is. Maybe he did actually arrive in Bastion. Because this was before the Arbiter was broken. There is a scene where Colonel said, I thought Arthas yeeted Ner'zhul's soul out of his armor after the start of Wrath. There is a scene where he does kill a version of Ner'zhul within himself.
See, it's the girl within yourself that you have to really kill. Not the one on the outside, it's the one on the inside that counts.
But there is another scene where he completely rips his own heart out. And when he officially dies, and when we're done killing him, when you're running for the invincible run for the millionth time that year, because you have to do it on all your other alts, you get to watch that short little cutscene, and it seemed like he was happy to have the helmet off and to finally be dead. So I feel like Ner'zhul did have some control throughout him, but just not a lot. Such a good expansion, by the way. And I think it all has to deal with Arthas. And when you have a good villain, you have a good expansion. I think that also kind of goes with Undermine, too.
Galliwix is a good villain.
Galliwix was a great villain because he had story. He was scummy to not just, like, a couple of people. Again, it was the whole world. Everyone hated.
He was scummy because he was powerful, so he didn't need people, really. I mean, he needed people, but he didn't really need...
Yeah, and he just abused everything that he had.
So are you telling me that it would take a collaborative effort from, I don't know, a group of powerful adventurers to stop him?
Oh my gosh.
Wow!
Oh my god, here we go.
That's incredible.
Here we go.
Make a video game out of it.
We should make a video game.
I have an idea, Ferb.
Ferb, I know what we're doing today.
What?
Did he yeet Ner'zhul out of his armor? To be honest, I have no idea. If you say yes, then I'm just going to agree with you, absolutely. Then he did have full control.
See, I'd be taking big, strong men out of their armor for different reasons, but, that's just me.
Gonna kill this gnome. Galliwix is one of the best characters, says... I don't want to say your name wrong, but I'm so sorry. Gimo GM?
Spell it out.
Gino.
Gino.
Gino?
Yeah.
Gino?
Galliwix is the best character, I agree.
I will agree that, especially if you read his backstory, so good. Although, I understand they couldn't do it at the time, but they changed his model like 3 times.
You can see the artwork like on old loading UI splash screens, just like, oh, that's a
It's so weird.
That's not what I'm looking at. And then all of a sudden, just over time, it just the model becomes more and more like that early intro
Yeah.
6x9 loading screen.
His old form was literally just a goblin with a top hat,
Yep.
and it was so proper. And then they gave him the pin on chin.
Hmm. Oh, Galax is a good time, man. I like his house too. I like the leopard print, the cheetah print everywhere, the zebra
I love his
stripes.
golf course. I love the
Golf course
Mount
outside.
Rushmore.
Yeah.
The Mount Rushmore.
Yep.
In Ashenvale.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it Ashenvale? No, Azera. Azura.
You're a spam.
Azara. Whatever.
Jari. Words are hard. Yeah, it's a good little spot. That's a good little spot. You need any captain's keys in like the past 10 years?
It's the good thing about his character is that he is what you imagine a goblin leader to be, and I completely agree with that. I love how they whenever there's a main leader of a certain race, like with the Tauren, Kain is peaceful, Vol'jin is very like troll-like. I don't know how to explain it. And I feel like Garrosh was also a great villain because he was very orcish. And then for goblins, yeah, they nailed it. He's a scummy traitor, and he's just, when you say goblin, there it is. That is, you don't need a definition up on the screen describing what a goblin is. You look at him and you just know it, and you know what he smells like too, and you just want to pour a bucket of water on him.
I can smell you through my computer screen. Oh wait, that's
Yeah.
just me. Wait, that's just the World of Warcraft player. Nice. Hey, captain's key. Oh, dang it, I already got that one.
Many characters in the WoW universe suffer from brutalized fandalization. English. I can't speak it, by the way. It's not my first language. Russian is. Anyway, I will agree, and sadly, that has also put Blizzard under fire for being racist, especially in one of their newer books that came out a couple of years ago, which was exploring Azeroth Eastern Kingdoms or Kalimdor, where they made the Blood Elves seem extremely racist, and they made fun of a troll for being illiterate and being stupid. But it was the way that they wrote it. It came out sounding horrible, and they actually cut that part out of the book and reworded it so it didn't sound racist or demeaning.
Do you have print edition 1 of this book?
People are selling it online for a lot.
So ridiculous.
And some people that actually bought it, like for the pre-sale, got it in. So sadly, yes, they do a great job at like showing the character, but people connect it in their head with our real world. And so goblins, oh my gosh, they're making fun of insert race culture here because of insert stuff here that I'm not going to say because you obviously know.
YouTube moment.
And it goes back to original Dungeons and Dragons. It just has to deal with that mythology with not even Dungeons and Dragons, even before then with the Grimm's Brothers tales of talking about old stories that they gathered from across Europe and the description of certain characters that they were doing, which were racially biased.
It's localized fantasy. It's not, extraterrestrial make-believe.
It goes back to the old saying of write what you know, and sadly, even if you write something you don't know about, you put your own spin on it that you know about, and it makes good for foundations, but it can also accidentally leak into certain areas that you might not even think about, but other people might connect to it.
Yep. Write what you know. That's a good way to say it.
So,
Good way to say it.
whenever I'm writing something, I think, how will this person treat this idea that I'm writing down?
I don't know. Some people like to be insulted incessantly, so you could be aggressive. Yeah.
I like this person. Well, when they try to introduce American current social issues, the charm of fantasy is lost, and I agree with that. I don't like it when games add those kind of things, but it
Well,
also
that doesn't age well. You know, it doesn't ever age well.
no. Unless if you're doing a historical based game, then you can
Right.
do those things. But if it's fantasy, stay away from it, please. It's not fun.
Like a bad character self-insert, but it's a
Yeah.
plot line.
Do I insert myself in writing? Sometimes. Because it kind of goes back to the write what you know. But I never write myself fully. I usually have like a name and then maybe some like friends that I add in as like companions inside the game or just help with names and generation. But I never truly insert myself in.
Yeah. Some dude on a forum like 10 years ago said this was supposed to take 4 hours, so clock's ticking.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read that one out loud. But I agree with you. Again, I could easily read it out loud, but I still don't know what YouTube is okay with. But I will agree that there is like things in video games, even if it's not even on the writer's mind, sadly people still find a connection with it. And it's
Yeah.
because it's in their minds, it's in the reader's minds. And when they think something is horrible or this is, I'm going to say racist, it's because it's on their mind and they're thinking that. Yeah. I understand. Wise of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you have to set the press. You have to first do it well, and uh, do it in a complete way. And unfortunately, with a lot of those self-inserts, those like political and/or current climate issue self-inserts, they're never explained
Hmm.
with the gravitas or the time that they take to actually drive home a point, because it's not a TV show, right? So you're not getting like the South Park version of current events where they walk you through the problem, both sides of it, and then the solution. It's always just a crappy, shoddily done. Oh, look at me, I'm current. I
Yeah.
watch the news.
And a lot of times, whenever certain games talk about those topics, it can be done really well.
Oh
It's
yeah,
until the community says a little pushback, and then the game developer pushes back with them, and then eventually, if they can do it once, the community knows that they can do it again and again and again and again, and it kind of gets rid of the feeling of it. Which a game that I feel like they really messed up on was, what was it? The one that Dry plays, Baldur's Gate, or not
oh,
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate,
Gate,
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age Inquisition. Yeah,
Yeah, because there's certain monsters and creatures, and elves are technically servants, if you know what I mean, in that world. And if certain ideas like that gets a backlash, then the community can ruin a game because they're destroying the vision. Which, yeah, it's a
with
horrible
Dragon Age,
thing to have that,
with,
but
with Dragon Age, was it like very community driven with the differences between the last release and this release, or was there continuity already present there, like initially?
in the original game, there was a they loved it. They loved how dark and gritty it was. And they
Right.
wanted dark and gritty again. But you can't have the same dark and gritty you had during the 2000s and today because people see stuff
Right. Okay.
differently.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have to be careful what I say.
Get it, I
Like
get it.
YouTube. Like, it's literally the same analogy. I have to be careful of what I say.
Yeah. Oops. Speaking of being careful, look at this belt. Ooh. Tyrant's belt. Never collected that one before. That's crazy. It's red.
I read your next comment and I agree. Like, people will always group themselves together. It's a form of human nature back in Ooga Booga times where finding a group and togetherness, and then in video games when you have two factions like World of Warcraft with the Horde and Alliance, people take it too far and it just destroys the fantasy vibe because you're just like, I'm here for a fun time. I like the story. The story's fun. But then there's the other people that are like, this story's horrible because it deals with these problems going on in the world. It's like, no, no, it's not. You just made that connection. You're the only one that thinks that. But sadly, you're going to tell the whole world this, and people that listen will agree with you, and then it'll spread and spread and spread and spread, and then they'll have to make changes. Hence, Dragonflight. I'm not going to elaborate on what I said about Dragonflight. Why are we getting so deep into this? Ask me literally anything else.
Your favorite flavor of potato chip?
Actually, I have one right here. It is
Tell me all about it. Read me the nutritional facts.
baked Lay's original flavored because I
Unbelievable.
like salt. Salt is delicious. I get it from my dad.
Can't eat kettle cooked because you're a wimp. I
No,
get it.
I'm not a
you don't have
fan
any,
of kettle cooked. My God,
you just don't have
that's a
any,
lot of sodium.
old fashioned chest hair. That's what you don't have. You gotta eat things that break your teeth if you want to be a real man.
Not a fan of kettle chip. No one can comment on Dragonflight without being demonetized. I'll leave it at that. Anyway. But yeah, I have an addiction, I feel like, to salt because my father, he was in the Marine Corps,
Grandpappy Engeleye.
and they gave him a lot of salt, and now whenever he cooks with a lot of salt. So when I was a kid,
Preservatives,
I
yeah.
ate a lot of salt, and so my
No,
palate was so
no.
used to it.
Yeah, on a ship you gotta make things preserved and stuff, so full of MSG and salt.
MREs.
Yep. There we go. Boom shot.
Do 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 do.
See, we're not murdering anybody here. We're just putting them gently to sleep.
Yes. They're getting knocked out. They're going to
No,
bed.
not even knocked out. They're just going night night.
Yeah.
We're
it's
administering dosages of sleepy time.
yes. we
4,000 milligrams of Light's Judgment.
we need
Right here.
to make a game. It's like the purest game where you go around and you're not hurting people. You're just helping them fall asleep. It's an
DC
alchemy-based game, and you're just drugging people. I mean, you can't say that
No,
word.
no. DC is going to lapse on the copyright of Batman. Just for
Yes.
like, it's gonna happen. We're just gonna be on the and we're gonna Batman. We're gonna make a game called Batmaning it. It's exactly what you described.
Batmaning.
Just the most like throw people on spikes.
No.
But they're sleeping. They're just fine. They're
I'm
just.
putting
But
them
we're
to
gonna
sleep. What are those
run
on
them
your
over-
wrists? They're spikies. They go.
run them over with trucks. But they're sleeping. They're gonna be like, we're gonna have like the criminal, and then we're gonna put them in pajamas and like little bed sleepy times. It's
What
gonna be great.
happens when you put a lot of force on those spikes against them? They go to bed? No,
They go-
they die.
I'm
What?
exhausted. No,
No.
that's impossible.
I'm not killing anyone.
Batman. Batman.
I did not use weapons. I love that skit. It's so funny.
It's pretty good.
Why would you do that? No, he's going to sleep.
We're just Batmaning everybody right
We're
now.
Batmaning everyone. They're fine. Look at them.
Batman. Come on.
They're going to bed.
Figure it out, dude.
Just taking a nap. They'll be up in a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
See, these guys, they just came back up. They're awake.
Ah,
And now
yeah,
they're
literally,
asleep.
right? Come on.
Why can you
We
loot their
are-
corpses? Whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't say corpses, alright? They're asleep. I'm just pickpocketing them.
Just sleepy little guys. Don't worry about it.
Look at the little
It's
guy.
the Serta Sleep Mattress Simulator 3000 right here.
Look at the little guy.
It's actually a mini game. Who can find themselves in the most comfortable sleeping position? And I think I've got a winner.
This guy?
right here.
This guy? He's out, man.
This woman on the hard floor, crushing her sword like in her gut violently. Very comfortable.
The way she screamed when she was falling asleep.
It was screams of happiness.
It was
Oh,
screams of
finally, I can go
happiness.
to bed. I've been on my feet for checks notes 47,000 server
I
cycles.
walked up and I said, "You can sleep now," and she said, "Thank you."
Thank you! And then just like they're falling down a cliff. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's
Can
great.
I get a Wilhelm in here?
We need that on soundboard.
I need one. I need a button that says
You can do it. You can
the
do
sensor
it.
noise, and I need a button that gives me the Wilhelm scream.
I've given you the technology. You can
I
set this
know,
up
I know, but
in mere
it's.
seconds, my friend.
I think you forget every now and then just how lazy I am.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wee, getting trapped on stuff. I keep looking down at the comments.
It's bad for your
If you
health,
ever
don't-
see me just like randomly stop or just veer in a weird direction, it's because I'm looking down at the comments. I need that second monitor hooked up, man.
Affirmative. You are preaching to the choir.
The queer.
I am both of those things. I'm the thing you insinuated, and
Shh, we don't say that.
why not?
Gotta love YouTube. I need to go into their contract and
Pretty sure that works.
figure out the exact words that I'm not allowed to say, and then start saying another word, and then the next time there's an update, would you look at that? That word made it into the contract of no words to say.
Wow.
Wow. I can't say flippity floop.
Flippity floop. Oh my, that's one of the worst ones, dude.
The hizzle for shizzle. And then we say flippity floppity floop. Come on, mister. We gotta get to our flippity floppity floop. Oh no, don't say that. Had to
As I-
censor myself there. I was like, wait a minute, can't say that one.
Do your best David Attenborough and just like use like mid 2000s rapper slang. As he leaves his house,
As you can
he
see,
and his three cornies.
as I wander through the camp of pirates, I found this guy flipping around.
No, that's way too British, actually. Unironically, they would probably say that.
The hizzle
they would
and the
say that.
fizzizzle.
They would say that while eating bangers and mash. That's what they would do. Very
Got a
British.
bean stuck in my throat hole.
Oh, okay. Now it's dead. Now it's a dead joke. Oh man.
My
You ever
beans
tried
and
bangers and mash, by the way? It's pretty
No, I am not a fan
Pretty
of
good. It's pretty good. You gotta have it done the
that.
right way. Go to the World Market, get you some Heinz beans, get you some sausages.
I've got to say, the World Wars definitely destroyed the food industry
No.
in flavor.
Ah,
In industry, absolutely. It really helped them. The World Wars definitely helped the food industry. But on our side, it definitely got hit hard.
elaborate? What do you mean by that?
Well, like, so everything in a grocery store is
For real,
basically a weak man's version of an MRE. And you can't say otherwise. I'm serious.
I mean, I go to the spice aisle. I'm like, you know what? I'm cheating right now when I grab this allspice and coriander.
No, no,
you know,
it's
I'm
got,
really cheating out here when I grab me some hot sauce and.
it has to
and
deal with canned food.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Elaborate. Continue.
All right. So preservatives
the
and
floor.
food, it lasts so much longer with like canned stuff. And that's why bangers and mash and beans and stuff like that is so popular in Britain, is because beans was so like there was so much of it. Kind of like in the United States where Spam was such a high thing is because there was so much left over. Kind of like
know what's
the
cool for-
cheese mine in the United States with Velveeta.
Do you know anybody that uses Velveeta or Spam?
Yes.
Serious question. That's crazy.
Yes.
I've never seen anybody buy it, and I've never seen anybody use it.
You'd be surprised how fast that stuff sells.
That's well, yeah, it's still a product. So, so one dude in Montana's got to be buying it for his tornado/nuclear fallout bunker.
Plastic.
Plastic and salt. Yes, this will keep me alive.
This will keep me alive for decades.
Grow a third eye because of the nuclear radiation, or consume spam and stay the same while I lose my hair. I know what I'm gonna do today.
Am I A, gonna drink formaldehyde to stay young forever? Or B, drink salt to stay young forever? Either way, it's a preservative. It counts, right?
My intestines are going to be gray.
Mmm,
Gray.
delicious.
Is that my tissue dying? Awesome.
I have a full bag, whoops, cancel, of just alcohol.
Show me your inventory in game real quick. I gotta see this.
Are you not watching the stream?
I can see like your OBS is like cropped.
Nah, it's fine. Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go fix that. You guys have been watching absolutely nothing. Oh yeah, it is cropped. Oh, that's goofy.
Cropped like a farmer's field.
All right, well, actually, right where the edge of the crop is this bag that I'm moving my cursor around in. This is all alcohol. 10 stacks of violet rum.
10 stacks. Let me check, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I need to work on that crop.
14.
That's a reagent bag. I can't fill that. Bruh, what?
Who hit clean up bags and why was it me? How dare you? I had everything organized.
I hate it when that happens.
Who did that?
Who pressed clean up bag? Is that what it's called? Yeah, clean up
How
bags.
dare they?
I remember the first time they added that, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I pressed it, shifted everything. I was like, never gonna hit that button ever again.
This is the opposite of convenient.
I am honored. So I
Hey,
should be one more experience bar away from being done here. But I'll stay around and help you until you get exalted.
For Gadgets and is the one we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I am almost done with friendly. I am 4282 right now, this very moment, today.
right now.
In America.
You can see. That's good. But you can't see, like, my sidebars. You can't see my mini-map. You can't see half of my rep bar.
You're being a sneaky little guy. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
What are they doing over here? Why are the...
Streamers always hide their chat window, and
Yeah.
I always find that weird.
It's so they can say naughty things without anybody looking.
Dookie.
Oh! Scandalous.
Deosa is your game. Hold on. A little heart keeps getting in the way. Game collection on the shelf and the memes for chat on Discord.
Is this... Yeah, this is my games collection. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Actually, in that, what was it, the thank you video? No, yes. Yeah, in the thank you video, there's a picture of the bookshelf with all the World of Warcraft books. That was actually my bookshelf.
Just imagine it's some guys.
Yeah, I mean, you could have. You could have just looked up
some
any,
person.
like, lore bookshelf. But yeah, that image is, like, all the books I own.
Some poor dude from Idaho.
Why is it Idaho?
I don't know, it's funny. I like saying like 42 years old. Like you get those like Discord kitten calls, like those cringe, like
Fedora.
I don't want. Yeah, like tips Fedora ladies, and like, or they're like role playing like way too weird. Like that's Larry. He's 42 and he's from Nebraska. It takes the sting out of a lot of that.
Colonel says, Aido, so you have StarCraft, LOL, StarCraft Battle
Yeah,
Chest.
buddy.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have I played it? Hell no.
Have I played it?
Not
Have I
yet.
downloaded it? No.
I've tried it. I've tried it. You know, back in the day, sometimes you just had to buy the game and take the bullet.
Have I breathed on it? No.
Well, yes, but it's a hard game. I never got into it. I was never good enough, you know. Get good scrub applied to me there. That's
Get
for sure.
good never happened.
The getting good is still yet to come.
I never got it good.
Never happened. Oh, I cry.
So many transmogs.
Many farewells.
I cry.
Having a good time.
A lot of early Valve titles. Neverwinter Nights. Demon Stone's a pretty rare one. Not a lot of people have that one. Torchlight's pretty rare. Dungeon Siege 2. Baldur's
The
Gate
cheats
2.
or the chests?
What's up?
What are the cheats for? Chats. CHEATE.
Oh, yeah, cheats. Oh, I think you're just talking about cheats for StarCraft 2.
Oh, okay. You were
Yeah,
confusing
or
me.
the battle chest. The StarCraft. It's three. It's StarCraft and then StarCraft 2 and then the StarCraft 2 expansion.
Okay. I was like, is there something on my screen I'm not seeing? I'm confused.
You have wall hacks.
Well, like in my bags,
See what they are.
in my bags, I have other bags that I'm holding on to, and I'll just give it to my warband. So I was wondering if he was saying chess. So what's like
No.
the extra chess for? But it was cheats.
Oh man, no, those old Sierra titles are goated. They're so good. Eidos Entertainment and Software. Back when EA meant something.
Back in my day, we had a
Back in
full
my
entire notebook just full of up, down, left, rights.
Yep.
Hand drawn, just as God intended, because you just had one friend go into GameStop and write them all down in the magazine without purchasing it, and then gave it to his other friends.
Yes, sir.
That's the
Unreal
way.
Tournament.
God made it.
That's right. I don't want to know what that Baldur's Gate 2 box set was worth. I don't want to look that up. I don't want to be tempted.
It's funny looking up like World of Warcraft ones because they're cheap. It's until you see the collector's edition ones, and then
Yep.
you just poop your pants.
Whoa, humana. That's great.
And I never get them. Dry gets every single one.
She's a gamer.
Gamer family, gamer in heart. I don't know what to say. Anyway, but no, like, I don't care. I'll never get. I guess that goes with like every game. Whenever a new game comes out, I never get it. Never, ever, ever. I always wait till prices drop like a rock, and then.
Well, and then you get the benefit of the patches and the updates too.
Yeah. And
a lot of times DLCs become free or discounted.
Mm-hmm. The
Yeah,
only
for
thing
sure.
I
It's fun to
really
do.
regret is getting Minecraft for free. Because I thought it was gonna stay for free.
Why do you regret that? What's sad about getting a game for free?
Because I didn't get it for free.
Oh, you didn't get it. Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Got it. I did get it for free. I was one of those early boy nerds.
I didn't.
I'm gonna point at you and laugh real quick.
But no, I got
Alright.
it.
There you go. I was pointing at you when I was laughing.
I
On the
I know you
speaker.
have a photo of me on your desk that you think about every night, and then you
That's
just
right.
pointed at it and you laughed at it.
Scheiße, he knows.
How'd you know?
He figured it out.
Where are they?
Where are they? Alright, Batman. Good times. This is exhilarating gameplay, I must say.
Where are the drugs
I-
going? Wait, is that's your voice? What? I was going for like a bat, you know, like screeching, like And he's like, no, you gotta be more intimidating. Where are the bats going? Where are the boats going? Where are the drugs going?
What is this a reference to?
Where are the
Bless
drugs
you.
going? Hey, that's perfect. What? Yeah, do that. My throat, it really hurts right now. No, that's good. You've never seen that skit before?
I don't think so.
You've never seen that YouTube skit where they're making fun of the Christian Bale version of Batman because he's like, and like every time he talks. Are you sure this is good? Yeah,
There's a lot
no,
to-
that's extremely intimidating. Where are the drugs going? Swear to me. And he drops him. You've never, dude. Like I was quoting
It
him not
rings a
too
bell.
long
It
ago.
rings a bell. It rings a bell. It rings a bell.
The
No, I was
whole,
just. I haven't seen the YouTube skit. No.
You've never seen that one?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Who does that? It's it's not the whitest kids you know. There's another version of like YouTube comedians that do it. Not Rooster Teeth. I'm gonna go insane. I need to look this thing up. My phone
Oh,
might
that's
die.
the goal. Your phone might die. What do you?
Well, I'm using it as like a second monitor so that I can see chat.
Oh, gotcha. Chief, gotcha.
So I'm technically like one of the viewers.
He's cheating.
I'm cheating. I'm making myself look like a viewer.
Report you for view botting. Because you little drop on list. How much?
View
were they
botting.
view-botting?
You are view botting clearly. No.
Not me. Yeah, no. So we're like big Blizzard boys, but we've never played StarCraft, which is interesting.
No.
Is there any crossover lore at all between those two games? Or they're like totally separate universes, right?
They're technically separate universes, except for they tried combining it with not Heroes of the Storm. Wait, yeah, Heroes of the Storm.
Right. Well, Heroes of the Storm is just every Blizzard IP, right? It's
Yeah.
Basically smash mogged into one.
And they definitely did try to like connect it because when they killed off Varian, they showed
Yeah.
him getting resurrected in Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, I thought that was
Wait,
kind of
so
goofy.
Plunderstorm has nothing to do with Heroes of the Storm, right? Just other than
No.
the word storm. Thank
No.
God. It's like, was I missing something?
There is. Where is it? There might be one
Captain
around
Key, let's
here.
go. Well, I got
There's
Captain Key.
references in each one, like in. I wonder if it's. Yep. Where are you?
I'm looking at your stream right now. I can see it.
You can see my stream, or right over
Yeah.
here in these shredder bots. I think you already know this one. You can see the StarCraft lady in here.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Get in there.
I'm trying. Whoop.
Kind of.
She's
Like
more
her glass.
visible in like the non-pale versions because these are like the rusted down, broken version of it. But yeah,
Yeah,
she's inside the shredder bots.
that's crazy.
But the
Crazy.
universes are not connected that we know of. Probably they'll probably never because they already have so much lore created
Yeah.
throughout the Warcraft universe with space itself. So I highly doubt we'll ever see a connection with StarCraft. And then there was a reference during the release of Diablo 4 when there was a goblin running around and you had to kill him and you got like to keep his bag or something like that. But that's just
Did you
portal
100%?
hopping. You what hurts?
Did you 100? Did you 100% Diablo 3?
Ye- Wait, not 100% it, but I did like I finished the story mode, I should say.
Okay.
But I've been meaning to like get back into it and then going to the harder versions.
There's so much content. It's so
Yeah, that's a
big.
Blood War kind of starting screen. The StarCraft pet. Oh yeah, there's pets. Forgot about that. There's pets. I'm sure there's items. I mean, it's World of Warcraft. Every fictional story in the world has a connection to World of Warcraft. They have every version of like a Greek god. They have Zeus and Odin. Literally, they didn't even try to sugarcoat his name and make it different. They literally call Odin Odin. There's so many hints at so many Grimm's fairy tales throughout the whole entire world. And they don't hide it. It's funny. It's sloppy writing on another level, but it's interesting.
It is. I always liked the lore and the character art of Diablo. It's very dark
That's
and
one thing I
broody.
always loved about Diablo was the art style. And to be honest, I loved the
The
third
art
person.
and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, like the top-down third-person
Yeah,
perspective. Yeah. The isometric angles. Very nice. Well, the artisans were cool, and I like how they handled that. And the auction house and upgrading your gear and all the acts. It was a
the
lot of fun.
gems.
Yeah, buddy.
And then it, like after the story mode it turns into cookie clicker, but I didn't mind it. It's true.
No, it is. You have to like find the right piece of gear to do the thing, and got the grind
And
for it.
then
And I was kind
you
of
collect gems, and then you put gems together with other gems, and then you collect more gems to connect those gems with those gems to make other gems into super gems, and then that gem because of another gem.
turbo super gem.
Yeah, I thought it was the goofiest thing ever, but there's a side of me that is I'm glad they did it that way because it's easy to follow the crafting recipe. But when they make crafting recipes so weird and absurd, it it hurts my brain. I'm slow, okay? But when they make it just as simple as connect these different types into one thing, then you're good. And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
thank you."
you had to keep track of regions, and especially for parts like part of the story or part of a plot line, you
Yeah.
have to like go to a certain artisan to get a certain item, and then once you got that, you actually spent a region that you needed. So now you have to backtrack to get a different region, and it was kind of a pain in the ass a little bit. And I did that a bunch, but
I think World of Warcraft at first did very good with that because it was you were supposed to have an open world, but you can't have that anymore in this version of
no.
World of Warcraft because it's too big. And they've tried it with certain quests and it just feels horrible because you've played the game so long, you have the fastest travels, you know where all the portals are. So instead of going on a heroic journey through this one
Right.
quest that takes you around the world, you now go zip, 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 zip. Oh, I wish they would compact this quest. Oh, they make this quest too small and too short. I wish these quests were harder. Why did they make this mob so hard to kill? Uh, uh, uh.
B&M, yeah. Colonel Arnold asked a question. What's your main profession in WoW?
Oh, I usually go for alchemy, but to be honest, oh yeah, either alchemy or inscription. and then like herbalism and whatnot for creating your own dyes and ink, and like potion reagents. But to be honest, I don't do professions as much anymore. I
Yeah,
that's
they're not
one thing that I
necessary.
really hate about professions nowadays is Blizzard didn't know what to do with them after they became useless unless if you're in a guild that does like raids and dungeons. But in old World of Warcraft, you needed it. Like you had to have a profession to survive. And it's not like you needed to survive for having a guild. It was you needed it to survive to make your own food with like cooking and fishing and first aid to bandage yourself and heal yourself in the open world because you made a DPS or a tank and you didn't create a healer so you can't heal yourself. And then with certain professions like with alchemy you can make your own healing potions, you can make with inscriptions, you can have your own buffs, and you can help yourself through the world. And it was a challenge and it made sense. But now you don't need that because once you hit endgame you're a literal tank even if you're a healer, and you can go up to anything and kill them just like how we're killing these pirates right now. And it made professions borderline useless. And then in Dragonflight, they thought, hey, I know how to fix professions. We'll make people sell them online, or not online, but like sell them throughout the game and write orders. That's just stupid. I didn't come here to make a little shopkeep, and basically I don't ask for any orders because I don't need any orders unless if I'm doing like a Mythic Plus dungeon, and even then I'm not the one doing it. It's a small percentage of the community that actually does that stuff. Unlike before with professions, everybody needed it. And I wish there was an easy answer. I really wish that I could say, hey, they should do this instead with professions to bring them back. But the only way they could really do that is if they make the game hard again, and then people will cry that the game is hard again. Deosa, what do you do for professions?
I wanted to get into enchanting, but mostly just mining, just to get that sweet, sweet ore that I can sell in the auction house.
Yeah.
But I
Right.
did want to get into enchanting because that's kind of useful.
Yeah. It is. That's kind of one reason why I stuck with that profession is it's still usable. I mean, it helps you with like a small percentage. If I do inscription, I can still have enchantment, or not really enchantments, but like buffs that I can give myself. But they're so minor, they don't really matter to a certain extent. But eh. Colonel, what's your profession of choice?
I'm gonna go get something to eat real quick. I'll be back.
I love how he says, "What's your profession?" in WoW. What's my job? I work. I make money. I miss old professions. I miss the need for it. Unlike now, I'm this like it reminds me this node over here, this flower, this fire bloom. It, before it, when I was doing this, I would pick it up every single time, like I walked by here. But now, it's useless. I just see these glowy things and they're pointless. I don't need them. It's now decoration in the world because now people just buy everything on the auction house. If they want gold, they'll just buy it on the auction house. And if they really want gold, then they'll do WoW tokens, which WoW tokens is a whole nother thing where WoW tokens are good because it helps people that don't want subscriptions, because there's people have like grown up with this game. They've aged so much where now they have full-time jobs plus more and family and plans going on. When you start off as a kid, you have all the time in the world, and now you have no time whatsoever. And WoW tokens were really helpful for those that don't need a full subscription. And then it also helped the other side, which is people that just really need that little bit of extra gold in WoW. But like everything, it just takes those bad apples that ruin the the help that a certain game needs. I will say I do love the warband. I haven't really fully used it yet to like its full extent because I am a tunaholic. I have a lot of them. I basically played every single race and every single class. I have done every profession, but I haven't really fully used the warband thing, but I feel like if I used it to its full ability, I would love it. But it also reminds me of twinking, and I'm not a fan of twinkers. They're not fun. To misuse items just to level up a person, it kind of just kills the vibe of the game and like what it used to be. I make fun of people that wear heirloom armor, even though I have my own heirloom armor. I don't have every single set, but I just think it's hilarious. It's great because I'll make a new character with some friends, and then they'll instantly put on the heirlooms, and I just won't. Just like, I could, but I won't. It could level up my character faster, but I don't care about that.
It's a good question. What is the benefit of using heirloom armor? I kind of missed that whole TED seminar.
Heirloom armor? I'm not a fan of twinkers. I was kind of like talking about professions. And then like what's needed, and I was talking about WoW tokens and how there's like a good side to them and a bad side to them, and it kind of like leans into heirloom armor. Sorry, Dry's kind of distracting me. Yes, I'm calling you out.
Right on, brother. Well, this has been fun, dude. I might pop off to eat some dinner. I might call you later if that's cool.
Yep.
All right.
I might
peace out, girls. Go.
end the stream.
All right. Well, peace out. Thanks, Colonel Arnold, and everybody for joining too. That's really cool. We got some good viewers here.
Heck yeah. Thank you all. Even though this was just a test, I wasn't expecting actual people to pop in, especially so quickly.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. All right. Peace out.
See ya. Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna stop the stream. Thank you for joining. I'm trying to figure out how to do this properly.